You say today's results will determine the future of your relationship.
Yes, Your Honor, it will. I've known her since we were kids. We need to get these results.
Mr. Watson brings his 9-year girlfriend to court, convinced she orchestrated the ultimate betrayal by forging DNA results. For 4 years, he's been playing daddy to Kevin, believing fabricated test results proving his paternity. Miss Mahoney maintains the results were legitimate and insists Mr. Watson is definitely Kevin's biological father. The question remains, who's telling the truth in this heartbreaking case?
Hard. He takes it hard. He looks up to him a lot. Sometimes he gets real short-tempered with him, and he just he'll sit by him and he'll move away, and it's hard as a mother to see that.
Poor Kevin faces devastating rejection from his only father figure. Mr. Watson reveals the life-changing moment that shattered his world completely. Miss Mahoney presented at home DNA results claiming his paternity, but something felt fundamentally wrong. The timing, circumstances, and her suspicious behavior raised major red flags. This innocent child suffers while adults battle over fabricated evidence and questionable test results that destroyed their family.
When I was away, when I came back, she was cheating, and she has a bad reputation of being basically, as I'm going to say it, the neighborhood hoe.
That behavior is incredibly suspicious. Why would any man do that for a woman they're not romantically involved with, let alone 2 different men? Mr. Watson finds the whole bedroom story over toilet paper completely unbelievable, and frankly, the court feels the same way. When Mr. Watson confronted one of these mysterious men, they confirmed his worst suspicions that they were indeed sleeping with his girlfriend behind his back.
I had no job. I had nothing to fend for myself. They were close family friends, and they just wanted to help me help them.
The plot thickens dramatically when Mr. Watson discovers even more shocking information. Not only does he have confessions from the men involved, but one of the other potential fathers already claims Kevin as his son and has been providing financial support. This raises the obvious question: why would Miss Mahoney forge DNA results for the willing participant when another man was already stepping up as father?
You know, her and her friend fell out, and the friend called me one day and was like, I want to tell you everything. And she basically told me everything, how she was
What she did was lie to you because you and her had sexual intercourse.
No,
did you not?
No, we did not.
The testimony becomes increasingly chaotic and unbelievable by the minute. Mr. Watson reveals he received confessions not only from the men involved, but also from Miss Mahoney's own friend, and then drops another bombshell that he allegedly slept with that same friend under a bridge. This entire situation is spiraling out of control, and it seems like everyone around them is saying something to destroy their relationship.
I found out I was pregnant, and it was kind of a little iffy at first, but he switched, and he's like, no, you had these men here. I know you were sleeping with them, your best friend, and that's around the time I found out what had happened between them.
Miss Mahoney tearfully insists she would never fake something so critical and cannot believe Mr. Watson thinks so poorly of her character. According to her emotional testimony, Mr. Watson is the only man who could possibly be Kevin's biological father. She's deeply hurt that he would suggest she would lie about such important paternity matters affecting their innocent child.
And they asked me who the father was. I told him who he was, and he ran from all the things, and finally they found him and had him go up there and take the DNA.
What did the DNA test say?
99.9%.
She fought relentlessly for 8 months to locate Mr. Watson for a paternity DNA test. However, Mr. Watson rejects her emotional appeal, highlighting major inconsistencies in her story. He claims her friend has a history of document forgery and argues that 99.9% of the American black population isn't sufficient evidence to establish paternity, as she could have been with any other black man.
Do you believe that biologically Kevin is your grandson?
I am now questioning more and more. That's never been in my heart before, and it is now.
The courtroom atmosphere grows increasingly tense as nobody seems to support Miss Mahoney's version of events. Not her boyfriend, not his mother, or her friend who allegedly forged the DNA tests. This 9-year relationship hangs in the balance as Miss Mahoney tearfully explains how much she loves Mr. Watson. Kevin calls him daddy, making potential abandonment absolutely devastating for this innocent child. It's time for the real DNA test results.
Mr. Watson, you are the father.
See? I love you.
I'm sorry, baby. I love you.
You put your wedding on hold because you're positive you are not the father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Not only did Ms. Robinson hide the pregnancy, she didn't tell you about Tanila until she was 5 months old. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
When secrets become weapons, love transforms into war. Today's shocking case centers on ultimate trust betrayal. How do you hide an entire pregnancy from your claimed beloved until the child reaches 5 months old? Mr. Parker adores young Tynala, desperately hoping she's his daughter, but refuses to build his future on the foundations of lies and deception that have left him questioning everything.
He didn't know around the time that I have pregnant that I was seeing someone else, and that's where the possibility come from that Tanala might not be his.
Mr. Parker reveals the torment eating him alive since discovering the truth. He knows intimate details about Miss Robinson's relationships with other men during Tynala's conception period, leaving him wondering if the woman he loves has been manipulating him. Miss Robinson fires back with frustration, questioning why his doubts surface now instead of demanding DNA testing when Tynala was 5 months old and they are about to get married.
And I saw her holding hands and hugged up with some other guy. And at first, I saw that I suspect that she might have been pregnant, so I did a little hand gesture. I was like, "Hey, are you pregnant?" So she said no. So I left her alone. I went on my separate ways. Somebody else. I did my own thing. I wasn't really too much worried about her.
The timeline unravels like a detective story gone completely wrong, from innocent hand-holding to a baby. But there's a suspicious gap between these two people that doesn't add up to making a child together. When Miss Robinson discovered her pregnancy, she didn't run to Mr. Parker with news. Instead, she told the man she was photographed holding hands with because they were dating then.
Why didn't you tell Mr. Parker? I don't understand.
I was nervous, Your Honor. I was going through my pregnancy hormones, and I was just distraught. I was going through a lot. I was nervous. I didn't know how to go about coming to him with the bad news.
The plot thickens dramatically as Miss Robinson drops a bombshell that leaves everyone speechless. She admits she had doubts about paternity from the beginning and told both men they could be the father. But here's the kicker. The mystery man was present at Tynala's birth and signed the birth certificate. The courtroom erupts as the implications of this revelation sink in.
Let this guy that's probably not be his child sign a birth certificate, and that could be my baby.
Yes.
Why would you let him sign it, Miss Robinson, if you knew it could potentially be Mr. Parker's as well?
Because, Your Honor, at that time, he was there.
Miss Robinson shows no remorse for her actions, and her attitude is infuriating everyone in the courtroom. She keeps deflecting, asking if Mr. Parker loves Tynala so much. Would he just abandon them if he discovers he's not the biological father? But what about how he feels after being deceived for months? Miss Robinson brought her sister to support her questionable story today.
I must say, financially wise, he's good. He's excellent with them too. But lately, it's been a lot of bickering, so I take the bait. I don't want my niece around that. I don't want, he's unsure, but I'm a little mad because there's a lot of things that I didn't know.
Even Miss Robinson's own sister, Miss Shamika, is shocked by today's courtroom revelations. If Miss Robinson can't tell the truth to her own flesh and blood, how can anyone trust her courtroom testimony? Miss Robinson admits lying to everyone because she felt ashamed. Ashamed of cheating on a good man planning to marry her with someone who also cheated knowing he fathered her baby.
You, Ms. Robinson, submitted a diagram to the court.
Yes, Your Honor.
That outlines what you believe is the ratio of certainty.
Yes, Your Honor.
Interesting illustration, Miss Robinson, but let's remember that it only takes one time to make a baby, and facial resemblance alone cannot determine paternity, which is exactly why they're standing in this courtroom today. The scientific truth is the only thing that matters now in resolving this complicated and emotionally charged paternity dispute between these former lovers.
Look at that bond that they have, and he gonna sit here and tell me if that baby not here, he gonna leave. That would devastate my child if, he walk out of her life. She called him daddy.
If this child's not mine, it hurt me to death because I love this baby to the break of me. Like, I'd be heartbroken if it's not mine.
The moment of reckoning has arrived. The stakes couldn't be higher for the heartbroken Mr. Parker, who will be completely devastated if baby Tynala turns out not to be his daughter. But even if the DNA proves he's the father, can their relationship survive this massive betrayal? Will they still proceed with their wedding plans, or has Miss Robinson's deception destroyed any chance of a future together?
Mr. Parker, you are not Tynyla's father.
Oh my God.
Woo! I'm sorry.
Sis.
I'm sorry.
You previously received results from a prenatal paternity test which stated you are the father. You are here petitioning the court to reopen your case and order a paternity test.
In a previous episode, this court proved that Mr. Mason is not the father of Miss Malone's 1-year-old daughter. But here we are again. Same players, same denial, different baby. Now Mr. Mason wants this court to confirm yet again that he did not father Miss Malone's 5-month-old son, Ace. As they say, history has a twisted way of repeating itself, doesn't it?
Child, I feel like that it's impossible to get a DNA for a child that's unborn just from a swab of the mother. I guess that's the only way I'm still acting the way I am toward him.
The million-dollar question haunting this courtroom. Did this man drag everyone back here because he genuinely doesn't understand how DNA technology works? Or does he have legitimate reasons to doubt paternity? The new court-ordered paternity results will reveal the scientific truth. But first, let us dive into the messy context of how we all ended up here again today.
Every time I held Ace, it's like all he did was just cry, and there was just no connection.
That's what a baby does. They cry when they first born.
There was just no connection. Even when I look at Ace, I still see.
Mr. Mason's logic is absolutely mind-boggling. He's convinced that since he doesn't have an emotional connection with baby Ace, he cannot possibly be the biological father. His reasoning? Since Ace bonds better with Miss Malone's fiancé, Mr. Haynes, then Mr. Haynes must be the real father. The audacity is stunning. Be for real, Mr. Mason. That's not how DNA works.
I met Mr. Haynes February 22nd, 2017.
I don't believe that, Your Honor. She could have kept him a secret or anything,
No.
but then just get rid of me just to move
Technically,
him back.
I didn't know her when the time when she had Ace in her stomach.
You didn't even know her when she was pregnant.
No.
Mr. Mason needs more convincing. His latest obsession? Miss Malone removed his name from Ace's birth certificate, which he interprets as proof of her own paternity doubts. Miss Malone fires back, explaining she replaced his name with Mr. Haynes because he's the man who actually stepped up as a father figure, unlike the completely absent Mr. Mason who refuses to take responsibility.
So you're saying it was a statement that this is the man that's acting like Ace's real father?
Yes, ma'am, and he act like he didn't want it. He act like he didn't want to be on the birth certificate, so I was angry and hurt.
There's clearly toxic history between these former lovers, and while Miss Malone has moved forward with her life, Mr. Mason remains trapped in the past. The burning question: why is Mr. Mason so hell-bent on proving he's not Ace's father, even when a prenatal DNA test already established paternity? What's driving this desperate denial of scientific evidence and his own child?
She has not lately gave me the chance at
Hold
all.
on, technically, she
At
has
all.
gave him the chance. He never
She's
picked up
never
Ace when
gave
he
me
ever
the
came,
chance.
whenever he came
Whenever
over.
he
Ever
came and
Whenever he
visit,
came over,
it was always about my
since-
2-year-old.
Ever since she's been with Mr. Haynes, it's always just been about her and Mr. Haynes.
Order in this court of law. Of course, Miss Malone focuses on her fiancé when her ex visits because that's her new family now, whether Mr. Mason likes it or not. Regardless of today's test results, everyone believes Mr. Mason should finally move on from this obsession with the past and focus on building a future, his future away from this drama.
What is it about the past you can't let go of, Mr. Mason?
Me and Miss Malone, we was together for 5 years. And for 5 years, I feel like it was nothing but just dishonesty, and it was more bad than good.
And it was on both of our
And so
behalves.
that's
It
why
was
we
not
came
just
the
me.
last time.
Hold up. The drama intensifies with explosive new revelations. Miss Malone was allegedly sending ultrasound pictures to another man during her pregnancy. Meanwhile, Mr. Mason admits he cheated on her with a stripper as revenge for her earlier infidelity, even after they had supposedly agreed to let bygones be bygones. After the prenatal paternity test confirmed he was the father, Miss Malone left him because of his stripper scandal.
No, Your Honor, I did not.
Yes, Your Honor, he
not.
did. He did,
I
Your
had
Honor.
a friend that I was talking to.
It was
because
not
I
a friend,
couldn't
Your
talk
Honor.
to
It was
Miss
way
Malone.
more than what he's saying
So
it was.
I was just talking to
One
her.
night I was going
I
through
came
his
back
phone.
and-
One at a time.
I was going through his phone one night.
The evidence isn't looking good for Mr. Mason's character. He appears to be the truly untrustworthy person in this toxic relationship. He keeps insisting he confided in his friend about Miss Malone's promiscuous past because he couldn't discuss it with her directly. But this personal drama has absolutely nothing to do with baby Ace's paternity. Yet Mr. Mason still maintains his ridiculous theory that bonding determines biological fatherhood.
he picks favorites also out of all 3 of the kids.
No, I don't pick favoritism
No,
because
not
I
at
pick
all.
all 3.
He loved my kids.
All 3.
Okay, Mr. Haynes doesn't have kids.
The math is crystal clear to everyone except the delusional Mr. Mason. He has denied this innocent 5-month-old baby the love of his biological father because of his own psychological hang-ups. The prenatal test was specifically designed to avoid this exact scenario. This court even consulted the chief science officer at DNA Diagnostics, and the new postnatal test will only confirm Dr. Baird's findings.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Mason, you are the father. Again. Ms. McCrory, you and your husband claim the defendant's ex-husband, Mr. Gino Bailey, who recently passed away, fathered your 3-year-old daughter, Nevaeh.
In a shocking turn of events today, Mrs. McCrory is in court to confirm that Mr. McCrory is not the father of their 3-year-old daughter, Nevaeh. This step aims toward claiming Mrs. McCrory's deceased ex-husband's properties through their child's paternity. But Mrs. Bailey, the deceased's ex-wife, and Ms. Smith, his daughter, claim the family is only motivated by money, and this is medically impossible. What an unusual case we have here today.
If she believed that my late ex-husband was the father of her child, why didn't she get a DNA test before he died? Why did she wait until after he died and then 2 days later message my daughter?
Mrs. McCrory reveals that she and the deceased wanted to take the DNA test while he was alive, but Mr. Bailey couldn't go through with it because of his girlfriend at the time. Now that he's no longer with his girlfriend, and tragically no longer alive, Mrs. McCrory thinks it's time they finally discuss this paternity issue. But now that he's dead, he cannot support her claims.
I really don't care if she is my sister. I won't have nothing to do with it. Because I had 19 years and I want to remember my father the way he was, being his only little girl.
Yes.
When I spoke to my father, he told me that it wasn't his. He said there's no possibility, she looks nothing like him.
Not only did Ms. Smith's father allegedly confirm the affair, but it appears that Mr. Bailey also had a serious medical condition that ensures any child conceived by him would end up in a miscarriage. This is absolutely shocking testimony, as this is potentially a condition that Nevaeh could inherit too. The medical implications add another devastating layer to this already complex case.
We told her that he had a medical chromosome condition.
You did not.
And she sat right there and called us a liar, that it wasn't true.
So you're saying you did inform her?
She was informed
Because
about
let's
it.
be honest, if in fact this, Nevaeh is in fact his biological daughter.
The stakes continue rising dramatically as we now have the paternity issue, the inheritance benefits, and a medical condition that runs in the family. It seems that the McCrory family is willing to take their chances with their daughter potentially having this condition if it comes with significant wealth. Meanwhile, let's dive into some courtroom drama that's about to unfold.
Picture. Do you remember the night you believe you conceived?
Yes. I mean, it was brown sheets with flowers and everything, and we did it like all night long. 3 times.
That I could guarantee.
Well, you know
didn't
what?
do.
You must not know. Maybe you weren't good enough then.
I was married to the...
Everyone can agree that in paternity cases, it's not about quantity or frequency. It takes just once to make a baby, and both parties certainly know this since they have children of their own. But what are they really saying about Mr. Bailey being promiscuous? We must speak no ill of the dead here. The McCrory family has Mr. McCrory listed as father on Nevaeh's birth certificate.
The whole situation is that my late ex-husband is very dark-featured. His daughter, very dark-featured.
Really?
Okay,
Sounds right to me.
I think Nevaeh looks like Mr. McCrory.
Time and again, we've established that physical resemblance does not equal paternity, but Nevaeh's lighter features are strikingly similar to the McCrory family. Seeing Ms. Smith's daughter with her dark hair makes the McCrory family's claims increasingly harder to believe. Let's finally hear directly from Mr. McCrory himself about these serious allegations and what he has to say about this complicated situation.
He knew that he was the father because there was several times I met him in a drugstore and ran into him, and he's sitting there saying that, oh, she's got my eyes, and smirking at me, oh, she's got my fangs. She looks just like me.
Mr. McCrory couldn't have said it better, and as everyone knows, we love a man who can step up in this courtroom. If the Smith family is questioning why a man would step up to be the father of a child when the real father was alive and well, the real question should be, why was a man texting a woman allegedly carrying his child asking for pictures?
On the left, we have photos of Nevaeh.
His fangs and her fangs.
And then on the right, Mr. Bailey.
Yes, and they're in the same spot and everything. The eyes, they're big, huge, they got the same setting.
Her eyes are bigger than his.
So the court obtained photos of Nevaeh pictured
look
on the
alike.
left, and Miss Mento
Okay.
as a child on the right.
Is it possible that Ms. Smith is still in love with Mr. Bailey and simply doesn't want this affair to be true? Or is she just terrified of what the truth about her husband's infidelity will do to their family's reputation and legacy? And why can't the McCory family just let the dead rest in peace instead of pursuing this controversial case?
So you put up a memorial page.
I'm the one that made it.
You did for your dad once he passed away. And then you got messages that said from the McCrories, listen, you're not daddy's only little girl.
Why would anyone even behave so disrespectfully? That behavior is completely inappropriate, especially when Ms. Smith is mourning her father. It's creepy and not well-intentioned at all. This entire case is becoming increasingly messy, and it appears more and more like the McCory family is only in this for the money, rather than genuinely wanting to know the truth about their child's paternity. Let's hear the million-dollar results now.
Mr. McCrory, you are not the father.
Thank you.
Told you. Mr. McCrory is truly doubting you.
He didn't doubt it the whole time we were together. The whole time the kid's been born, he hasn't doubted that kid at all until this last case with Nevaeh.
In a previous explosive episode, the McCory family presented a united front to confirm that their daughter Nevaeh was fathered by a deceased man, hoping to benefit from the inheritance once paternity was established. The DNA results revealed that none of the men in question was actually the father. This revelation must have gotten Mr. McCory thinking about what else his wife might be lying about completely.
In your court papers, it says you all broke up for a few days around Keith's conception. Is that true?
Yes, Your Honor.
You did?
Yes.
And so during that breakup, Ms. McCrory, did you sleep with anyone else? Were you intimate with anyone else?
Yes, I was.
Mr. McCory's loyalty seems to be a one-way street, and given the history, Mrs. McCory appears only loyal to herself and her own interests. She boldly lied to her husband, claiming that the man he was suspicious of was actually her brother, but this alleged brother never visited when they lived close together. Mrs. McCory now confesses that when separated around Keith's conception, she was intimate with other men.
Fact is, it's his kid. 1,000% sure.
You're that certain?
Yes.
But you were also very certain when it came to Nevaeh. I remember this attitude. I don't forget. You acted just like this the last time you were in court about Nevaeh.
Don't blame the court for being extremely skeptical this time around, Mrs. McCory, given your track record of deception. As this dramatic testimony proceeds, we're discovering that Mrs. McCory is quite the feisty one who doesn't back down from confrontation or uncomfortable questions about her past behavior. Her defensiveness speaks volumes about her character and raises more questions about her honesty.
She said she promised me she wasn't sending him pictures.
What kind of pictures are these?
Your Honor, I have pictures that she puts on Facebook all the time that, some of them are old, but some of them were recent.
Mrs. McCory claims those provocative pictures are old, and she doesn't behave that way anymore, and when she used to post them, she and her husband weren't together. She doesn't see anything wrong with the photos, arguing there's nothing inappropriate about a woman wearing a bikini on Facebook. While we agree the photos alone aren't evidence of promiscuous behavior, her own damaging confessions tell a much more concerning story.
This was supposed to be my friend and her friend. He comes over our house, he chills out, he would come to the house and drink with us and crash on the couch for the night.
And this is the person she slept with?
Yes, Your Honor. If she's lying to me and it's not my son, I'm not going to stay with her. I'm going to leave her.
This couple, who have been together for 4 years and married for 3, are now facing this devastating turmoil, and only the absolute truth can set them free or keep them together. Mr. McCory no longer trusts his wife's word about anything. She defensively suggests he could have been doing questionable things too, but we think that's just projection on her part after her documented deception.
I was excited when Keith was born. I've always wanted a son that I can give my last name to that can share that bond of a junior and that can pass that on to his son.
The truth is, because she did have unprotected sex with somebody else, it's possible that this little boy is not yours.
Yes, Your Honor.
And that's been eating away at you.
Yes, Your Honor.
Are those genuine tears streaming down her face? Now that she's facing actual consequences for her deception, is Mrs. McCory finally losing the cool composure she's maintained since the beginning, or is this all just elaborate acting? Emotions are running dangerously high, and Mr. McCory is demanding a lie detector test because he doesn't believe a single word his wife says anymore about anything.
What's making you so emotional,
Because it's his kid.
And what, you just feel like you're getting... You're beat down by the accusations, or what, you have so much on you because everything didn't turn out the way you thought with Nevaeh, then you come back home.
Yeah, because I feel bad that don't know who her dad is.
Enough about Nevaeh's paternity drama. We're here today to focus specifically on Keith's biological father, and everyone should concentrate on that pressing issue. Mrs. McCory admits she's still in contact with the potential other man, even though she claims she's certain he's not Keith's father. Before we proceed to the crucial paternity test, let's hear the results of the lie detector test Mrs. McCory took earlier today.
Then ask if you sent racy pictures to anyone other than your husband in the last 4 years. You admitted that you did.
It makes absolutely no sense to anyone in this courtroom why she would lie during a lie detector test about such serious matters. Every revelation plus the failed test results compound the overwhelming doubt that Mr. McCory harbors, and his fear that he might not be able to overcome these feelings enough to treat Keith like his son is absolutely heartbreaking for everyone involved.
Mr. McCrory, you are the father.
Yeah, I told you so.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Lyde, you say that for 26 years you have known only one man, the defendant, Mr. Ellis, to be your biological father, and you're devastated that he is claiming you're not his.
It's not every day the truth resurfaces after over a decade of living in what seemed like a peaceful lie, so why come forward now? After growing up alone with just her mother, Danielle is here today to make it crystal clear to Mr. Ellis that he is her biological father and he better start acting like one. This determined young woman wants the recognition and relationship she deserves.
I didn't really have a relationship with Mr. Ellis. Growing up, it was just me and my mom. I've been in and out of group homes, foster homes, no male role model in my life. It's been hard. I had a long...
Mr. Ellis feels genuinely bad for Danielle's situation, but that doesn't change the fact that he firmly believes he is not her father, and he's not stepping up to claim responsibility. He proceeds to tell damaging tales about how her mother was a wild party girl who would disappear for days partying with different men, arguing their skin tones couldn't produce light-skinned Danielle.
Practically white. I don't feel like that's correct because my son was white with black hair and blue eyes, and I'm not white. I don't have blue eyes.
Mr. Ellis, you know that babies come in all shapes, sizes, and shades of color, especially African-American children.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Ellis doesn't have any concrete proof except for the fact that Danielle is light-skinned and her mother had a reputation for partying with multiple men. He desperately wants them to find the real father so they can finally stop bothering him about this paternity issue. They even called social services on him, and after a DNA test was conducted, it allegedly showed 99.9% certainty he was the father.
From her, do juvenile court, but they never show to court
So
juvenile.
the bottom line is a DNA test was performed, yes or no?
Yeah.
After the controversial test was supposedly taken, people kept demanding that Mr. Ellis provide child support, and surprisingly, he actually provided it for years without anyone telling Danielle the truth. She even connected with his extended family members, and they welcomed her with open arms and accepted her as one of their own. So why is Mr. Ellis the only one denying her when his own family embraces her?
Mrs. Lyde, it's not that I'm not trying to accept you for who you are. I think you're a beautiful person. Your mother should have told you and quit lying to you. You deserve the truth.
I do deserve the truth.
She deserved the truth then. He deserves the truth now. And frankly, we all deserve the truth about this messy situation. Danielle is visibly upset and increasingly angry to be caught up in this dramatic paternity dispute. And she feels this entire situation should have been resolved appropriately years ago when she was just a child who needed answers and stability from responsible adults.
Ms. Lyde, you said that you made difficult and unfortunate choices with men because of this absence of a father figure, the relationship with your father.
I feel like if I had a male role model, then, you know, I wouldn't have to go out there and experience things I experienced looking for love in a man.
No innocent child deserves to go through this kind of emotional turmoil and uncertainty about their identity. We're all incredibly proud of how far Danielle has come and the strong woman she has become despite these challenging circumstances. We sincerely hope there's still time for Mr. Ellis to step up and act like a real father, or for her to finally discover her true biological father.
First saw the baby at a month old. She looked 4 months old. And from what I had heard from my son, her father's a great big perfect man. What I heard from my neighbor, she has a little brother that she and the little brother were like twins.
It's important to note that Mrs. Ellis never saw the original DNA test results herself. She's simply going by her gut instinct and family resemblance observations. Danielle believes that Mrs. Ellis has built up hatred toward her over the years, but Mrs. Ellis is absolutely not having any of these accusations. Imagine a child walking up to you claiming that you're their grandmother. That must have been shocking and overwhelming too.
Your Honor, I feel sorry for this child. I've told him this and I've told my whole family this.
I don't need anybody to feel sorry for me at all. Because at the end of the day, I'm blessed. I just want to know the truth.
All Danielle wants is to discover the absolute truth about her paternity, and that's exactly why we're all gathered here today. This courtroom needs to get proper context about why Mr. Ellis was paying child support despite a DNA test that allegedly proved he wasn't the father. Let's hear from our DNA specialist about this confusing situation that has dragged on for over a decade.
How would he get off the hook? If there is a result that is a positive result, surely the state is going to try to locate the father and obtain child support, right?
Absolutely. Child support is not for the mother to waive. So even if Mrs. Lyde's mom said, you know, we're on good terms, I'll waive it.
The expert witness has confirmed that it's entirely possible for these conflicting DNA results to occur under certain circumstances, so now we must rely completely on today's official paternity test to give us the definitive answers we desperately need to resolve this decade-long mystery. The scientific truth will finally set everyone free from this uncertainty and emotional turmoil that has plagued this family.
Gnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Lyde versus Ellis, when it comes to 26-year-old Danielle Lyde, it has been determined by Mr. Muhammad, you are here to prove that you are the father of the defendant's 2-year-old daughter, Brooklyn.
He thought it was love. She called it convenience. But on this day, in Judge Lauren's courtroom, truth demanded the floor. Anwar Muhammad walked in with the calm fury of a man convinced his entire identity as a father was on trial. For 2 years, he had believed he was Brooklyn's dad, fed her, claimed her, watched her grow. He wasn't just hoping, he knew. The way she smiled, the way she poured cereal at one, the way her eyes lit up just like his. But now, all that could be ripped away by one test, one piece of paper sealed in an envelope Judge Lauren hadn't opened yet.
First of all, I would never let another man raise my child. I was always raised to do the right thing, always raised to be a stand-up gentleman. I know take care of all my children.
Across the aisle stood Miss Walton, chin high. She wasn't confused. She was certain Brooklyn didn't belong to Mr. Muhammad, not biologically. Her conception had occurred in a bed of lies and tangled sheets, but in her mind, the truth was clear. She had been with someone else, someone she wanted to be with. She remembered the hotel rooms, the lies told about being at work, and who she was sleeping with most often. The answer seemed obvious to her. Mr. Muhammad just refused to face it.
I was having more sexual intercourse with the other guy than Mr. Muhammad.
And you were having sex with this other guy behind his back, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So what was the nature of your relationship with
Mr. Muhammad swore they were in a relationship during Brooklyn's conception. She said no, they were just roommates co-parenting their first daughter. And while he claimed she had disguised the other man as her cousin, Walton denied it flatly. Both insisted the other was lying. Each played the victim. The audience gasped when Walton admitted she had an ongoing affair during that period. Even more stunning, she had claimed to Mr. Muhammad that her lover was family. That lie, he said, disarmed him completely. He had welcomed the man into their home without a second thought.
Her cousin.
That's not true, Your Honor. He's always known this guy.
I know.
Who was.
That's the other man that she wanted to be with.
So you're saying you were in a relationship?
In a relationship.
And you're saying you were not in a relationship when Brooklyn was conceived?
As Walton explained, she texted the other man when she missed her period, but it was Muhammad who discovered the message, snooping through her phone while she slept. The text wasn't vague. It confirmed intimacy and suspicion. According to him, it felt like a sledgehammer to the chest. She was cheating, and the man he thought was her cousin was the one in bed with her. And not just once, repeatedly. He remembered how she changed, got distant, and stopped sleeping with him. It was all there, he said, plain as day in her behavior.
Take me to the moment you find out you're pregnant.
The moment I thought that I was pregnant, I text the guy and I tell him I missed my period. Mr. Muhammad.
The timeline of conception was the next battlefield. Mr. Muhammad claimed it happened on February 21st in his mother's bathroom, no less. He even remembered the sink. Walton, meanwhile, claimed she got pregnant on February 4th, right after celebrating their older daughter's first birthday. But the math didn't favor either one definitively. She had slept with both men in that window, sometimes back to back. And the doctors dating? It landed her about 8 weeks along when she saw them, circling right back to early February. There was no safe alibi. No man had exclusive rights to that week.
I know the date. The date was February 21st in my mama's house, in the bathroom. We was in the mood. She was in the mood. She go to the bathroom. I go to the bathroom after. That's the date that we have.
Walton didn't deny the affairs anymore. She explained how she coordinated her double life with stunning frankness. While Muhammad believed she was working late, she was off with the other man, sneaking into hotel rooms and carrying on a relationship he didn't know about. But Muhammad had something she didn't, a deep conviction. He still believed Brooklyn looked like him. He pointed to their older daughter and said they looked like twins. Same eyes, same energy.
And then that took you back to the window of time right around February 5th.
Yes.
Which is when you were having sex.
With both of them.
Or with both of them.
Yes.
Yet, when pushed, Walton revealed a deeper motive. She admitted wanting to be with the other man, even though he was married. Her eyes didn't blink. She had already told him she was pregnant. She hoped the baby would give them a future together. Mr. Muhammad, in contrast, hadn't even been told directly. He'd learned from family, heard whispers, and pieced it together while raising a child who might not even be his. It wasn't just infidelity anymore, it was a whole deception, and it felt strategic, painfully so.
My oldest daughter, Brooklyn looks like my oldest daughter. If you look at them two girls right there, that's alike. That's my first daughter right there. She 4.
The question of paternity wasn't just one of biology, it had become a power struggle. Mr. Muhammad claimed the child bore his name because she was his. Walton admitted she gave Brooklyn that last name to avoid schoolyard teasing. 2 kids, 2 fathers, 2 names, it was too much. But in her heart, she said, Brooklyn belonged to the other man, not because of love, but because of support. He was more stable and more responsible. He would take care of Brooklyn in ways Muhammad never did, and that, she insisted, was worth more than DNA.
Make that baby belong to this man. I don't even know this man.
Have you started that relationship?
No.
Ain't gonna work.
No.
Ain't gonna work.
Well, why?
By the end, the courtroom held its breath. Judge Lauren asked for the envelope. The audience was hushed. Even Muhammad, who had raged, pleaded, and wept through his testimony, fell silent. There it was, the manila envelope holding the answer that could redraw Brooklyn's life story. Judge Lauren took it from Jerome. She cleared her throat and began to read.
When it comes to 2-year-old Brooklyn Muhammad, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Muhammad, you are the father.
Yes.
Mr. Webb, you have been waiting 2 years for this day. You claim the defendant, Mrs. Forrest, left you for dead only to find out once you got out of a coma.
He had waited 2 years for this moment, 2 long years filled with aching uncertainty, haunting dreams, and the sharp pang of a child's smile he'd never seen in person. Travis Webb stood in the courtroom, rigid, wounded, and determined. Before a tragic accident left him on life support, he had been in a passionate, all-consuming relationship with Amanda Forrest. When he woke up, she was gone, and pregnant. The math was messy. The emotions are even messier. Now, at last, the truth was within reach.
My intentions are to fight for custody rights if she is my daughter.
Well, that's my daughter.
Amanda Forrest stood just feet away as Travis recounted what he believed to be betrayal. When he was on the edge of death, Amanda had vanished, only to be seen days later, moved into a motel with her husband. His mother handed him a letter, a statement outlining what happened. Later, Amanda would call and admit there was a possibility that Elena was his. Possibility, not certainty, not closure.
Miss Forrest, let me just ask you point blank. Were you sleeping with anyone else besides Mr. Webb and your husband?
No, Your Honor.
Not during that time.
Amanda denied sleeping with anyone else, just Travis, just her husband. That was her line, and she stuck to it. Still, questions kept circling. Why, if she was so certain Mr. Forrest was the father, had she called Travis after he left the hospital? Why notify his family of the birth if there was no lingering doubt? Her answer was simple, just in case. But just in case wasn't good enough for a man who had missed 2 years of his daughter's life. And it certainly wasn't good enough for a courtroom judge watching this emotional storm unfold. The timeline was razor thin.
So, Mr. Webb, how did you find out she was pregnant?
She had called me the day that I got out of the hospital.
Amanda claimed she conceived between August 26th and August 31st, 2012, right after Travis was hospitalized. But Travis insisted they were together on August 25th. She admitted it too. One night, one slip, and in cases like this, one night can change everything. Still, she insisted that Mr. Forrest was the father because that was who she had been with after that window.
Okay.
And then you take it back 9 months later, that takes it to the week of August 26th through August 31st.
August 26th through August 31st, you were sleeping with your...
Just my husband.
The thing about it, Your Honor, is
for Travis, it wasn't just about biology, it was about connection. He'd tried, he'd begged, he'd driven hundreds of miles and spent his last dollars on gas, only to be met with silence or changed phone numbers. Amanda admitted to blocking him. She said she feared he would take Elena away. But even Judge Lake couldn't ignore the contradiction. If Amanda was so sure Travis wasn't the father, what was she so afraid of?
So you got news that the baby was born. You didn't hear from Miss Forrest herself.
No, Your Honor, not at first.
You heard through your family.
Yes, Your Honor.
I messaged his mother on Facebook and told her what hospital I was going to be at.
Mr. Forrest stood firm. He claimed Travis hadn't been there. Travis didn't care. Travis didn't deserve custody, but Travis sobbed openly in court, revealing 2 years of pain, 2 years of missed birthdays, missed first steps, and the torment of a child he might never hold, despite the real possibility of being the father.
We have set up dates plenty of times.
They have all been under his terms where he wanted to go.
I have drove from Illinois whenever she told me that I could meet Elena. I spent the last $80 I had to put in gas. She had backed out, changed her phone number.
Judge Lake challenged Amanda directly. Why not let Travis see Elena if there was even the slightest chance she was his? Amanda offered vague explanations about safety, location, and discomfort, but the reality was written all over her husband's face. This was about control. Meanwhile, Travis described creating fake Facebook accounts just to see a photo of the child he believed was his. And still, Amanda and Mr. Forrest doubled down.
No, I have never said that, Your Honor.
He ain't there for 2 years.
I have been in tears for the last 2 years trying to meet my daughter, and she has never let me once talk to her or see her.
When I talked to him and told him I was pregnant.
Mr. Forrest stood beside Amanda, trying to project certainty, but it cracked. When questioned, he admitted he might not be Elena's biological father. He'd been raising her, sure. She called him daddy. But that word, warm and innocent from a child's lips, couldn't change DNA, no matter how much he wants to believe it.
And he told me that if I don't let him see her, he's gonna take her to court or take me to court and he's gonna take her away from me. There's no way that he is getting my daughter.
The arguments had been made, the denials had been spoken. Everyone was exhausted, but no one was ready to admit defeat. There's a child completely unaware of the storm swirling around her identity. Judge Lake called for the results. 2 years of unanswered questions, accusations, and heartache led to a single sheet of paper.
Or Mr. Forrest, it has been determined by this court that her biological father is Mr. To your on-again, off-again boyfriend, Mr. Porter, that your 3-year-old son, Kylan, is his biological child.
The courtroom was heavy with anticipation as Solisha King stepped forward, determined to prove what she believed was undeniable, that her 3-year-old son, Kylan, belonged to George Porter. She insisted she was 100% sure George was the father, the only man she had been with, at least the only one who counted.
The reason why I want him to, the reason why he is the father of my son is because I just know that he's the father.
George Porter, however, didn't share that certainty. He had longed for children his entire life, yet was convinced he couldn't have any. Diagnosed as a child with a severe case of lead poisoning, among the worst ever recorded in New York, he believed it had rendered him infertile. That belief, backed by his research, planted deep doubt that never left him. His denial wasn't rooted in rejection, but in fear. Fear that biology had made fatherhood impossible for him.
If I'm the father. When we was together, we was, had our problems off and on. And when we broke up, I went back to New York. And I was dating someone else at the time. And then when we came back down here from New York.
The testimonies began with a lie, one Celicia now openly admitted. After their relationship had ended and George moved back to New York, she told him she was pregnant, but she wasn't, not yet. At the time, she simply didn't want to lose him. She hoped the lie might keep their bond intact, and it did, temporarily. Only weeks later did Celicia truly become pregnant, and by then, she believed the lie had become real.
When you break up, you say you go back to New York.
Yes, Your Honor.
When you go to New York, you get a new girlfriend.
Yes, Your Honor.
And then what happens when you find out you're pregnant, Miss King?
But real to her didn't mean real to him. George started noticing inconsistencies and lies. The pregnancy timeline didn't add up. He questioned how she could announce her pregnancy so early and then only test positive weeks later. He felt confused, manipulated, and toyed with. And once doubt set in, it refused to leave.
That is not the case. The case is the fact that when we first started dating, I just knew that I wanted to be with him. He was the genuine type. When I seen him with someone else, it's just like, that's supposed to be us, that's not supposed to be y'all. So I told him I was pregnant.
The courtroom tension intensified when George presented damning evidence, text messages from the day Kaylin was born. As Celicia lay in the hospital, her phone buzzed with messages from another man. George had read those messages with disbelief. Celicia claimed it was a joke, but for George, it confirmed everything he feared: deception, confusion, and paternity in question.
No, George was the only person that was sleeping around the time that I got pregnant.
The whole time, when she was pregnant, in the hospital, giving birth to her.
Despite the accusations, Celicia clung to what she saw as proof: Kaylin's height. She brought a self-made height chart into court, noting that Kaylin was short like her and George. She argued that genetics didn't lie, but Judge Lauren Lake was unimpressed. Height, she reminded them, was hardly conclusive. A short child didn't prove paternity, yet Celicia was adamant.
As you can see, the average male is actually 5'9". George is 5'2". Each time that I take my son to the doctor to get his wellness checks,
George, however, leaned on science. He'd found an article noting that up to 20% of unexplained male infertility cases could be linked to childhood lead exposure. He brought it to court, highlighting his belief that the poisoning had permanently damaged his reproductive system. It was why he had doubts he couldn't shake, even as his heart pulled him toward Kaylin. He desperately wanted to be the boy's father, but only if it were true.
And I presented it to the court. When I was a child, I was diagnosed with the second highest case of lead poisoning in the state of New York.
Really?
Right. And I'm 26 right now, and
Judge Lake called in a medical expert, Dr. Samantha Brown Parks, to clarify the potential link between George's lead poisoning and infertility. Her explanation was both revealing and cautious. While the exposure might have damaged George's reproductive development as a child, there was still a chance he could conceive. The damage wasn't necessarily absolute. It was possible, not probable.
It wouldn't affect the sperm shape or mobility, but because you're developing as a child and that.
The final moments were thick with silence. George admitted that despite his suspicions, he saw something in Kaylin, something that made him feel like a father every time the boy smiled. Still, he needed the truth. The judge reached for the envelope and carefully opened the flap. The room held its breath as she pulled out the paper inside. The emotional storm that had spun for years was about to hit its peak.
3-year-old Kylan Porter. It has been determined by this court. Mr. Porter, you are the father. Mr. Cooper, you admit to a brief sexual fling with the defendant, but state there is no way you fathered her 2-year-old son, Jaden. You opened your case because you claim Ms. Canterbury threatened.
From the moment Anthony Cooper stepped into the courtroom, his swagger was thick with defiance. He wasn't here to play dad, not unless he had to. He claimed his short fling with Shauna Canterbury had nothing to do with her 2-year-old son, Jaden. According to him, their time together was fleeting, casual, and carefully protected.
And some people be good men and get criticized, and then they be sitting here, then all they want is just the money from them, and it ain't gonna be me today.
And you're convinced that Jaden's not your biological child.
Their story began on a night out with mutual friends. They linked, as Anthony described it, and from there, they ended up in bed, 3 or 4 times in total, depending on who you believed. Shauna said those encounters were significant. Anthony said they were forgettable and protected.
She was with her people, I was with mine. It's like we just linked. I seen her some years later. She already got a reputation for being loose. Come on now, ain't nobody got time for this.
Okay, but you didn't even know me though, so how would you know
that?
But when Shauna found out she was pregnant, she said she messaged him right away, and then he blocked her. He denied that too, saying he found out about her pregnancy like everybody else on social media. One day, while scrolling, he saw the bump. He liked the picture but said nothing, and neither did she.
Missed my period for a whole month, so me and my mom took a test together, and it turned out I was pregnant.
Okay.
So
the real shock came after Jaden was born. Anthony got a call from his mom. Some girl had just shown up at the house with a baby. Shauna was gone when he arrived, and his mother was cradling Jaden like her own. That moment flipped everything. His mother believed the boy was his, and Anthony didn't know how to walk that back. Even with doubts, he felt obligated to stay involved, just in case.
That's how I felt. I'm like, man, you got me messed up. I ain't got no kids.
And that is the first time you've ever heard about Jaden. Your mom calls you and says, it's a girl over here with a baby.
Man, get over here.
Shauna insisted she had no hidden agenda. She didn't drop Jaden off to manipulate anyone. Her story was simple. Jaden looked just like Anthony. She also admitted, eventually, that there had been one other man, but she insisted the dates pointed to Anthony, not the other guy. She knew who she'd been with and when. Her memory of August, their night together, was firm in her mind.
If you had a baby and you thought a man was your potential baby father, once you let him know whether he is or he not, you would say something and you would let him know it's a potential you could be.
Anthony, meanwhile, brought a calendar to court. He swore the dates didn't match up. According to him, their encounters began in September. He detailed each moment, even a drunken threesome where he claimed to have used protection. The third time? Maybe not. He slipped, he said. Too many drinks, no condom. But still, he claimed it was too late to line up with Jaden's May birth.
We had sex. I wore a condom.
Nope.
Second time we had sex was this week through the 28th. And I remember it. It was threesome. We was all...
Judge Lauren Lake watched it all unfold with increasing scrutiny. She pulled out the conception calculator and did the math herself. Jaden's birth date? May 27, 2016. That meant the likely conception window fell between August 30th and September 6th, notably right on the edge of both their claims. The overlap was undeniable.
2000 what?
16.
16. Jaden was born. Let me get that date in. Got it. If we hit calculate, the conception window.
The courtroom turned to emotional stakes. Shauna talked about her current boyfriend, Casey, and how he'd stepped up since Jaden was a baby. He provided, loved, and supported Jaden like his own. He was the only dad Jaden knew. Anthony, in contrast, admitted he hadn't been there, but his reason? His mom. She loved that boy, and Anthony didn't want to hurt her by backing out. Still, deep down, he wanted answers, if only to stop living in limbo. Shauna, too, wanted clarity. If Anthony was the father, she wanted him to own it.
Who's been Jaden's father
My
figure?
boyfriend, Casey.
So your boyfriend has had to step up and be a father figure to Jaden?
Yes, we've been together since before Jaden was 1 year old.
And find out he did. The tension in the room could be sliced with a whisper. Anthony, cocky just minutes earlier, now stood visibly tense. Shauna, holding on to her truth, looked calm but tired. Judge Lake called for the envelope. This wasn't just about two people anymore. A 2-year-old boy's identity was waiting inside that folded paper.
It comes to 2-year-old Jaden Canterbury. It has been determined by this court. Mr. Cooper, you are the father.
Like I said,
after your last appearance in this courtroom, you confess you walked away devastated upon finding out you were not the biological father of the defendant's son.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now you say that
Judge Lauren Lake's gaze flicked over familiar faces, especially Tom Zara, seated stiffly and barely concealing the bitterness beneath his calm. Just weeks prior, he'd stood in the same room, shattered by the discovery that the son he'd raised wasn't his. Now he was back. His heart, already fractured, clung to one desperate question. Was baby Ariella truly his daughter, or yet another betrayal?
Mr. Zara, tell me about the doubts concerning Ms. Nato's daughter.
Well, one, she's like a whore, Your Honor, and...
Let's use respectful language, so you believe she's...
Kayla Nadeau, the children's mother, stood poised but visibly defensive, her expression hardening with every word Tom uttered. She'd already endured one very public reckoning, learning in front of a courtroom that Tom's best friend had fathered her son. She swore that during the time she conceived Ariella, she was only with Tom. Yes, she admitted to having a past with Tyler McCaffrey, but that was old news, she said. Their encounters were over long before Ariella came to be.
So, Mr. McCaffrey, were you intimate with Ms. Nato?
Yes, Your Honor.
You were?
Yes.
Without protection?
Yes.
This was before my 2-year-old was conceived, never mind my daughter.
And so
Tom's suspicions were so strong that she brought in a surprise witness, Amerino Amaral. Amaral claimed to have seen Kayla and McCaffrey together during the critical time frame. Though he couldn't swear to what went on behind closed doors, he was certain of their closeness, an intimacy that reeked of dishonesty in Tom's mind.
It's our understanding from testimony that Mr. Zara believes Ms. Nato and Mr. McCaffrey were sleeping together during the window of conception.
Yes, Your Honor.
As tensions rose, another familiar face entered the fray, Santilli, the very man revealed to be the biological father of Kayla's son in the previous case. Once Tom's best friend, now a constant reminder of betrayal. His testimony only twisted the knife deeper. He confirmed that Kayla was also involved with McCaffrey in that same friends with benefits arrangement.
Now, Mr. Santelli, you were here before.
Yes.
And you are the gentleman that ended up being her child's father.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you are best friends with Mr. Zara.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, best friends, that's something.
Tom's mistrust had been calcified by humiliation. Learning that his best friend was the father of his supposed son wasn't just a blow to his pride, it was devastating to his identity. He'd loved that child. But now, with another child in the picture, and more whispers trailing behind the woman he once called his partner, the walls he'd tried to rebuild were under siege again. The resemblance between Ariella and the previous child haunted him.
McCaffrey,
Yes, Your Honor.
you hear this testimony?
Yes.
You admit you were intimate with Ms. Nato?
Yes.
And what was the nature of the relationship at the time?
It was just friends with benefits. We'd hang out, party.
Kayla's fury ignited. She challenged the courtroom, demanding evidence, not rumors. Her voice grew louder with every accusation, drowning in emotion and frustration. She was tired of being dragged through the mud based on hearsay. Yet Judge Lake's patience was waning. The judge reminded everyone that doubt doesn't need eyewitness footage, not when prior deception has already shattered trust.
Ariella's.
Baby Ariella's. And you believe they're similar?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, the two witnesses, thank you so much for your testimony. You may have a seat.
Tom wasn't done. In a final move to underscore his uncertainty, he submitted a handwritten list, 6 names, of other men he'd been told might have slept with Kayla during the window of conception. It was a crude tally of whispered rumors built from hearsay and instinct. Kayla scoffed. She called it character assassination. Tom called it his truth. To him, it didn't matter if the stories were concrete, they confirmed a pattern, one that placed Ariella's paternity in serious doubt.
Caffrey.
Do you have first-hand knowledge of any of this?
Not necessarily.
So you got some videotapes,
not a
evidence,
videotape, anything like that, but just like this last situation that I had a
you
hunch
just got
on.
a bunch of rumors, a bunch of people telling you something.
To settle it once and for all, Tom requested the lie detector test results. Judge Lake obliged. Kayla was asked one searing question. Were there any other possible fathers of baby Ariella beyond the 2 men already tested, Tom and Tyler? Her answer was short, no. The results, held tightly in the judge's hands, revealed she was telling the truth. The courtroom exhaled. Now it came down to just 2 names, Zara or McCaffrey. One of them was Ariella's father, but which one?
Miss Nato, you believe I will find out. Were you truthful?
Yes.
Anything else for the record you feel like you may have left out of your testimony?
No.
No? Okay.
The courtroom hushed as Judge Lake motioned for Jerome. The envelope containing the DNA results was placed in her hands. This moment would either free Tom from doubt or tether him forever to a truth he wasn't ready for. Tom held his breath, and McCaffrey clinched the podium. Judge Lake's voice cut through the silence.
As to whether Mr. Zara or Mr. McCaffrey is her biological father, it has been determined by this court that her father is Mr. Zara. Mr. and Mrs. Knowles, you previously appeared in court with the defendant for a paternity case involving another child. You're back today because this love triangle has led you.
The courtroom was tense when Mr. and Mrs. Knowles stepped inside. This wasn't their first time here. Just months ago, they had faced off against the same man, Mr. Lindsley, in a separate paternity dispute. But this time, the stakes were even higher. At the center of today's storm was a newborn. Tyler Jr., just 3 months old.
When I said, who did you tell when you found out you were pregnant, I heard 2.
No, I told Mr. Knowles because he was in the room with me.
I was in the hospital room.
Okay, did you
And
later
my
tell
cell
Mr.
phone-
Lindsley?
The origins of the child's conception weren't clear-cut. According to Mrs. Knowles, she reunited with her husband around March 22nd and has lived with him ever since. But Mr. Lindsley provided hard proof. A calendar detailing dates he claimed showed Mrs. Knowles still living under his roof through April.
According to what I have calculated up and with the evidence that I have here, she was either sleeping with both of us or sleeping with me, living at my house during the time that she would have conceived.
Mrs. Knowles didn't back down. She insisted the relationship with Mr. Lindsley had ended by mid-March and that she had been intimate only with her husband. She referenced Facebook photos, timestamps, and her memory of when the relationship changed. She even dismissed claims that she sent texts suggesting the baby might belong to Lindsley.
Me and my other kids and Mr. Knowles in our house in the later month of March. Back from like March 22nd.
On my Facebook page where
The courtroom air grew thicker with each accusation. Mr. Knowles, standing quietly for much of the exchange, finally erupted in frustration. His voice cracked as he insisted Tyler Jr. was his son. He said anyone could see it. The same eyes and hairline. This wasn't just about biology. It was about saving a fragile family from falling apart, again.
And I left.
So, Mr. Knowles, you are still struggling with this issue with Mr.
And I told him I just had my baby. He still couldn't really believe me. He was like, send me some pictures. He was at work then. He was like, send me some pictures. So I sent him some pictures. And he's like, that's my baby. Are you sure that's my baby? And then he looked at the color of it, like why he's the color he is.
8 babies? That is crazy. You see, Ms. Thomas and Mr. McKee met online and then quickly started sleeping together. She thought he was the father of her child, but then he denied her baby because he thought the kid looked different. Could it be that the child's complexion alone made him run? Or was he looking for a reason to escape responsibility all along? When a man doubts a baby because of something as shallow as appearance, you have to wonder, what else is he afraid of being exposed? Here is how Ms. Thomas puts it.
First of all, we met on a dating website, as you spoke. We started off talking. And then once we started knowing each other, who we were.
How long did you talk on the phone?
Maybe about a month, too.
Okay.
And then I started going to see him, maybe like a 45-minute drive from where I live, like every other day.
So she was just drawn to his looks? Well, as we can now see, looks can be deceiving. But did she really know who he was? Or just who she wanted him to be? We have to ask, was it love, lust, or just a desperate attempt to fill a void? Because when the truth starts unraveling, what seemed like chemistry starts to look like chaos. So what happened next? Here is what Mr. McKee thinks.
It about her you were attracted to.
That picture she had online.
Okay, so you liked what you saw.
Yes, ma'am.
And so as you were dating, you just didn't feel like you were at that point ready to have a commitment.
Yes, ma'am.
How long had you been driving 45 minutes to see him, Miss Thomas?
Oh, about a month or so, or longer.
She would put her kids to bed, then get into her car and drive to go and see another man, and then drive back before her kids. That is extremely irresponsible, and somehow it gets even worse. What kind of double life was she living? And at what cost to her children? What message do they receive when bedtime stories are swapped for late-night rendezvous? This isn't just messy. It could be devastating. Here is what happened when she found out she was pregnant.
So I took a pregnancy test. I took a picture of it, and I sent it to him through text message. He was like, what is this? I was like, a pregnancy test. He said, I don't know how to read these, so tell me what that means. I say, I'm pregnant.
That is cold. He just blocked the number of someone who called to tell him she was pregnant. Did he think the pregnancy would disappear if he blocked her or something? Because this is crazy. Blocking a pregnancy like it's spam? Is that the kind of man who should be deciding paternity? Or was he hiding from more than just a child? Perhaps guilt or another life altogether?
He sent you a text with the picture of the baby. Your first response was what?
The baby look like he can be for Donald Trump.
Like, really?
Oh.
Really?
I didn't expect that one.
He thinks the color makes a difference. The color don't make a difference.
That is harsh, but it is what it is. He believes the kid is biracial. What are you going to do? But Mr. McKee believes there is a method to his madness. Was his suspicion just racial bias in disguise? Or did he truly believe someone else fathered this child? Because when a man dismisses a baby over skin tone, the damage doesn't just scar one person. It can fracture a whole identity. Here's how he puts his logic.
Dating site. Whoever else you think she might be me?
You feel like because she has more than one child, she potentially was entertaining a lot of different men.
Right. That's what
And
he's
so
trying to
it's
say.
not just you she was sleeping with. Is that what you're trying to say?
1 month.
Oh, okay. He now thinks Ms. McKee is loose because he started sleeping with her within a month. But isn't that kind of his fault? If that makes her loose, what does that make her? He's quick to judge her, but not himself. Why? Could it be shame or projection or something darker he's not admitting? It's easy to blame someone else when you're trying to forget your own mistakes. And here is what Ms. Thomas thinks.
She was in protection, and he knew that, and he was like, he wanted us without it. I was like, no, I'm fertile. I just had a baby a year or two ago. So I'm fertile, so I can't. So this particular time we didn't have anything, so.
I get it, you don't have to go any further.
Exactly. When a woman tells you she is fertile, you better believe. Mr. McKee didn't believe, and that is one of the reasons he is on paternity court. But hold on, it gets worse. What kind of man hears I'm fertile and still acts shocked when pregnancy follows? Denial isn't a defense, and the cost of ignoring her words may have created a child caught in the crossfire.
You did.
My whole family, because I didn't want to have another child without their dad.
So the entire 9 months you went without the support?
When I went into labor, my family was like, what? You in the hospital having what? I said, I'm in the hospital having my baby.
And you had no idea, Mr. McKee.
No, man, I didn't know she was having a baby, Your Honor.
Judge Lake is right here. If this child belongs to Mr. McKay, it means he missed the entire beginning of the child's life because he thought the baby was too white. How many milestones did he miss while stuck on something so superficial? Could his doubts have been masking something deeper, like fear of commitment or fear of truth? The cost of these lies won't just be measured in broken hearts, but in a child's entire sense of self. And here is why he thinks he isn't the father.
I grabbed a baby out the car seat, take him in the store and sit down. I had a lady walk up like, damn, that's a cute baby right there. Is mama white? I'm not racist or nothing, but is mama white? I'm like, is mama right there? So she said, is daddy white?
I mean, like, I'm the mom.
I'm like, I'm the daddy.
That must be embarrassing. No wonder Mr. McKee is very sure he isn't the father. Anyway, there is only one way to know for sure, and that is through the DNA test. He's clinging to confidence. But is it real or a mask to cover panic? Maybe he's already decided the truth he wants. But in this courtroom, it's not about feelings, it's about facts. Now let us see the result.
In the case of Thomas versus McKee, when it comes to 8-month-old Carson Thomas, Mr. McKee, you are not the father.
Are you serious?
He is not the father, Miss Thomas.
I'm sorry. Like I said, I'm sorry.
The baby is yours until proven otherwise. So, accepted this fact, I tried to do pretty much everything I can for it, even though I'm working on trying to build myself to make my son have a better future.
Ms. Hawthorne here insists that Mr. Brown is the father of her 3-year-old son. She thinks he is a complete deadbeat who should now step up for her kid. But Mr. Brown has other thoughts. Is she clinging to hope, or is she using guilt as leverage? Could there be more to their past than she's letting on? Because if she's so sure he's the father, then why does he feel so far removed from this child's life? Here is what Ms. Hawthorne thinks about that.
Doesn't do anything for Chase. He doesn't come see him, anything.
And that makes you so angry.
Yes.
Because you feel like he's not honoring his responsibility.
Right, and plus I grew up without a father. So I don't want my kid to grow up how I did.
And so, Mr. Brown, Hawthorne says you acting like a deadbeat. Why?
Your Honor.
Oh, so Mr. Brown is a cheat. Maybe his cheating ways is the reason he has refused to take responsibility for his kid? Let's see. If a man lies in love, can you trust him with life? Was his infidelity just a sign of immaturity or a strategy to avoid parenthood altogether? It's one thing to cheat, but to deny a child in the same breath, that takes a different kind of cold.
In December 9th of 2015.
You all reconnect, or did you get back together? What happened?
So I was pretty much leaving my significant other. I was coming over to talk to Bria about us not seeing each other anymore. So we was in the car.
Is this the night they conceived this kid? If it is, that is crazy. So the whole thing happened after a chance meeting in the back seat? That sounds like a moment no one expected to change their lives. But could one impulsive night really explain 3 years of chaos? Or was that night just the beginning of a deeper spiral? Well, what does Mr. Brown think?
Sex in the back of this car?
Yes.
Is this the day you feel like you conceived Chase?
Yes.
Your Honor, I pleased her and I didn't finish, Your Honor.
Your Honor, that's a complete lie.
Oh, you're saying you didn't finish the act.
Now this is getting complicated. Mr. Brown is 100% certain he didn't finish, and Ms. Hawthorne says that is a lie. Because if not, who is her kid's father? And if he didn't finish, why is she so sure he's the one? Someone here is not being honest or not being honest with themselves. It gets even spicier from here.
Before I came to her, I had sex with my girlfriend.
What? Okay.
You had sex with your girlfriend before you came to see Miss Hawthorne?
Correct, Your Honor.
What? Mr. Brown's point here is that he was already out of juice before he met Ms. Hawthorne, so he couldn't have possibly finished. But we have a kid here, Mr. Brown. If not you, who? Because Ms. Hawthorne says she did not meet anyone else. So is he saying she made up the entire timeline? Or is he too scared to admit he might be wrong? What happens next?
Sure.
You say it's a shady situation.
Correct.
But you, the #1 shade tree, because you had sex with your girlfriend, then came there and had sex with Ms. Hawthorne. She told you she wasn't on birth control. You did it.
You know what? That is valid. Mr. Brown wants to know why 2 adults of the opposite sex are living as roommates. Ms. Hawthorne says he was just a friend, but Mr. Brown has trouble believing that. Because when trust is already broken, every detail looks suspicious. Was there more to that friendship than she's letting on? Or is Mr. Brown just looking for a way out? Here is what happened next.
Your testimony, Ms. Hawthorne, that during the window of time when Mr. Brown had moved on, had a whole different girlfriend and everything, that you were with no one else.
I was not doing anything with anybody else.
That is your testimony?
Yes.
All right.
Exactly. Why didn't she inform Mr. Brown that the baby was coming if she knew the baby was his? Of course, that is another reason for Mr. Brown to doubt that this child is his. If he wasn't told from day one, how can he believe her now? Was she protecting her peace or hiding something bigger? But now there is another twist to this case.
I feel trapped in the situation.
How?
I feel trapped.
How do you feel trapped?
Because first off, you didn't let me know that you was pregnant until 14 weeks later.
Okay, so you trapped yourself in the backseat of the car when you really should have come and broke up with her.
That is a good point, and to be honest, his doubt isn't unreasonable at all. But now that he knows that there is a chance for him to be the father, he should probably step up, because the longer this drags on, the more it scars the child in the middle. And now we have Ms. Hawthorne's mom here to give testimony.
Do you believe Mr. Brown is Chase's biological father?
Definitely. I believe that. He has said it on texts that he has sent, all kinds of proof. He looked just like him. I mean, how can you deny that beautiful baby? I mean, he's gorgeous. And to say, no, this is not my child, it's ridiculous.
This is just messy. Well, we have heard all the testimony. Now it is time to figure out who the real father is here, Mr. Brown or someone else. The past can't be changed, but the truth can change everything. Will Ms. Hawthorne apologize in shame, or will Mr. Brown stand up to his responsibilities?
Mr. Brown, you are not the father.
Having sex with another guy.
You did not.
She
You're
was
lying.
naked and the guy was naked and I dropped Kimo over you.
But the woman that you
And that
got
he-
here last with, you was cheating on her during the time I tried to become a family with you.
But we wasn't
With
together.
Kimabi.
We wasn't together.
How?
That is so messy. Ms. Jones says that Mr. Fowler is the father of her 2-year-old and 5-month-old. Mr. Fowler says this is a lie because he caught her cheating. Now he insists that only the 2-year-old belongs to him. But why would she bring another baby into this chaos if she knew he didn't trust her? Was she hoping a second child would force him to stay? Or was there someone else in the picture all along? The damage to these children, growing up in a war of paternity, is already unfolding. Here is how this crazy case began.
Ms. Jones, so you're furious he accepts one child and not the other?
Yes.
Explain.
Like, every time he comes to see his son, his 2-year-old son, he forgets about Adonis. Like, when other people get in his head, Adonis don't exist. But when we all alone, that's his son.
Oh.
Wait, they still slept together 3 weeks ago? And for some reason, Ms. Jones is only judging Mr. Fowler and not herself for allowing him to sleep with her. But what kind of hold does he have over her that she keeps going back, even after accusations of cheating? Is this love, desperation, or just a toxic game neither can quit? And yes, it gets worse.
I always wanted to be a family with him.
I don't love her. I don't love her. I don't want to be in a relationship with her. I don't.
And this is exactly what I had to go through.
Even if Adonis is my child, I don't want to be in a relationship.
Exactly. He clearly doesn't love you, and you somehow allowed him to get you pregnant again. That is the worst thing you could do, and yet you did it. Was she trying to trap him, or was this a reckless gamble that backfired? A child's future is now tangled in lies and betrayal, but somehow it gets worse.
You just basically having sex, no strings attached, no real friendship, no relationship, you get pregnant.
Half of the time he was coming to see Kimavi, he wasn't.
If that actually happened, then Mr. Fowler is correct for not standing up. If he might be and he might not be the father, then he is right to want a DNA test. But why is Ms. Jones so confident if there's even a shadow of doubt? Is she hiding something, or is this just another layer of denial? But that doesn't end there, because Ms. Jones has her own evidence.
Around the time Kimari was born. My son's birthday, Kimari's birthday is November 16th. His birthday is November 2nd.
All right, but during the time before February,
What does that have to do with anything?
The dates adds up. Around the same time I got pregnant with Kimari.
This just makes no sense at all. The question we have to answer now is whether Ms. Jones was sleeping with only Mr. Fowler or someone else was involved. Could she have been playing both sides, or was she just hoping he'd never find out? The truth is slipping through the cracks. Here is what Ms. Jones thinks.
You are saying...
How many kids do you have?
You had another boyfriend, but you broke up with him to be with Mr. Fowler.
Yes.
Lies.
Yes.
That's a lie.
No, it's not.
That's a lie.
Now, hold on, let's get to the timeline.
That looks like a proper timeline. There is only one problem though. Mr. Fowler isn't buying it at all. He thinks she was sleeping with someone else throughout all of this. But if she's lying, why would she risk a DNA test? Unless she's betting on his doubt to hide something darker. And yes, it gets worse.
I went to her house, I dropped my son off, she cooked, I stayed, and I spent the night. And I left the next morning.
You're lying. You don't need to have sex with so much females. You don't even know who.
I guess, whatever.
Hold on.
That's what I have to do with.
If you had sex with her,
You don't have that type of connection and you keep sleeping with her? Really? You can sleep with someone yet you feel that you are not connected enough to ask if the relationship is exclusive? That is just crazy talk. Or is this exactly what he wanted? A way out without ever committing? The emotional damage here runs deep.
When did you hear that?
She was sleeping with somebody while she was in a relationship. I slept with her while she was in a relationship. Her and the other dude was on and off.
How do you know that?
Cause
do you have proof?
Darn, I know she's
Do you have proof? You're not God.
So hold on, Miss Jones.
Wait, a while ago he was saying he caught her with someone himself, and now he is saying that he heard some things from someone else. But why the change in story? Was he exaggerating before, or is he scrambling now to make his case stronger? Either way, trust is shattered. But as it turns out, Mr. Fowler does have some evidence.
So it was a guy, and he thinks that he's Adonis' father.
Oh.
The dude from the previous relationship that she supposedly broke up with.
Oh, so that guy
Yes.
is asserting that he could be
the father.
Exactly. All of this is extremely unimpressive, and it is so sad that they are messing around this way when the life of a beautiful 5-year-old is at stake. A child who deserves certainty, not this battlefield of accusations. The cost of these lies won't just be broken hearts, it'll be a lifetime of questions. Now let us see the result.
Mr. Fowler, you are not the father.
Easy and simple.
Well, guess I'll be up here again. I'm not even mad because...
Easy and simple.
Ms. Schwartz, you opened your case to prove to the defendant that he fathered your 9-month-old child, Azalin.
Yes.
You understand his doubt, but state he is her father. Is that correct?
Yes.
This is insane. This wife is suing her side piece and saying he is the father of her kid. The side piece insists that the child belongs to the husband, and the husband is also in court. But why would she drag both men into this mess unless she's hiding something? Was she playing both sides, or did she genuinely not know who the father was? The emotional toll on this child, caught between 3 adults at war, is unimaginable. This is way too good to miss. Here is how it begins.
It really does hurt because we have 2 other children together and he fathers them, but little Azalin is left out.
And you can feel that difference.
I feel my daughter's pain whenever she looks up at him, and he'll be there with her while I'm at work.
Oh, now he is accusing her of living a reckless life? Is he not living the same reckless life with her? He has 2 kids with her. Did he not know about her reckless lifestyle when he was having those kids? Or was he just enjoying the affair until reality came crashing down? The hypocrisy here is staggering, but the real victim is the child caught in this web of lies.
You can't just be in a relationship with a dude, have an argument, run out the door, jump into bed with the next man. That's how I feel. Every time we have an argument, your husband's gotta be in it. I mean, come on now.
How are you supposed to feel? You are sleeping with a married woman. How the heck are you supposed to feel? Why is Mr. Hatton acting like he is the innocent party here? He knew exactly what he was getting into, yet now he wants to play victim. But this isn't just about hurt feelings. A child's identity hangs in the balance. So what happens next?
And a wife is not gonna stay in the same house and not do nothing.
So how soon after the 2 or 3 disappearances she did she say she's pregnant?
Probably maybe 2 or 3 times, and then she comes back and tells me, I'm pregnant. I say, well, congratulations.
Okay, can we just back up? Ms. Shars is married. She has a husband. How the heck did she end up sleeping with this man and having kids with him without divorcing her husband? Was she trying to have it all? Or was this some twisted game of deception? The layers of betrayal here run deep, and someone's going to get hurt the most, that innocent child. Before we even get into that, Mrs. Schwartz gets talking.
I feel any type of way toward a child that I don't think is mine, that I'm sorry, I'm not.
Well, obviously, I'll let you.
I'm done. I'm going to act like we didn't hear that.
And also, I'm not listed on the birth certificate.
What the heck is going on here? This makes absolutely no sense. But apparently, Mrs. Schwartz gave the baby a different last name and put a different name on the birth certificate as father. Why would she do that unless she was trying to hide something? Was she covering her tracks? Or was this some desperate attempt to rewrite reality? The truth is bound to come out, and when it does, lives will be changed forever.
Aslan, Mr. Hatton's last name.
And he didn't contest it.
But you put your husband's name under father.
No. I didn't do that until December. And I told him, if you don't go down and get the paperwork done and do the DNA test and get your name put on her birth certificate.
Well then, Mr. Hatton, if you are so sure, why are you here then? The fact that you slept with her during the period of conception means there is a chance the baby could be yours. But Mr. Hatton isn't accepting this at all. Is he in denial, or does he know something we don't? Either way, his stubbornness can't change biology. Only a DNA test can settle this once and for all.
When me and her first got together, she was coming uptown where I'm at to stay with me a few days and sleep with me and then run back to the country to him where she was living and raising her family with him and him not even knowing it.
Oh no, he knew it. He knew it.
This is just so messy, but the only way we can get to the bottom of this crazy case is by seeing what Mr. Schwartz has to say about this insane case. Does he believe the kid belongs to him, or has he been living with doubts this whole time? The weight of this moment is absolutely heartbreaking.
First find out about Mr. Hatton.
She told me she was cheating on me, and I let her go.
And I was also calling him on the phone right in front of you.
Yeah, and you guys even got into an argument one night, and I picked the phone up, called Hatton back, and talked you guys through it.
Yeah, Mr. Schwartz looks done. He doesn't even care about divorce anymore. He just wants her to leave him alone and go mess with other men. But you can see the pain behind his anger. The betrayal runs deep. Now to the question of whether Mr. Hatton is the father here, let's see what Mr. Schwartz has to say.
There's a possibility, but there's probably a possibility of other gentlemen.
Is there a possibility that you're her biological father?
No.
Yep, there is one possibility that another man is my daughter's father, and that's God himself, because he's the only other man in my life.
You have concerns.
Oh, I got a lot of concerns like dating.
That is crazy. This is one unique love triangle, but there is only one way to get to the bottom of this case, and that is by checking the DNA test results. After all the accusations, the denials, and the hurtful words, science will have the final say, and everyone will have to accept the results. Here is what that result says.
Schwartz versus Hatton. Pertaining to whether Mr. Hatton or Mr. Schwartz, it has been determined by this court. The biological father is Mr. Hatton. She is your daughter. After a 34-year search, you are here to prove to the defendant that he is your daughter, Shakina Wright, biological father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, that is a crazy opening. Mr. Dowdy is sure that he isn't the father of Mrs. Wilson's kid because she was a party girl. Mrs. Wilson says, that is rubbish, and here is how she puts it. But why is he so quick to dismiss his potential fatherhood? Is it really just about her past, or is there something deeper he's trying to avoid? The emotional toll this uncertainty has taken on their child, now grown, is immeasurable. Here is how she puts it.
Mr. Dowdy to take full responsibility.
And up until now, he has not?
No, ma'am, he has not.
All right.
Your Honor,
so
he was my first love. He was my first love. He was the first person that I fell hard in love with.
That is straightforward enough. She slept with him because she likes him, no other reason. But Mr. Dowdy thinks she also slept with several other men in the same way. The question is, why is he so convinced of this? Does he have proof? Or is this just a convenient excuse to walk away from responsibility? The truth could shatter someone's carefully constructed reality. Here is how he puts it.
You met her at this party.
Uh-huh.
You have sex with her. Did you use protection?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. When I first met Barbara, I'll never forget the day. We were sitting like in the living room, and she had some red lipstick on. And I asked her, could I taste that red lipstick?
Hold up, a week or two later? You mean a week or two after sleeping with Mr. Dowdy? Well, you can see why Mr. Dowdy will not admit to fathering this kid, right? Because that is very suspect, and it gets worse. But what if Mrs. Wilson is telling the truth? What if all these years of doubt were based on nothing more than assumptions? The damage done by this uncertainty can never be undone.
I just gave me the money to go get her, but I just never went back.
Why?
Young and dumb, I guess, I just didn't believe.
So you didn't go back because you didn't believe?
I didn't believe I was a daddy.
Your Honor, I think all along he knew he was the father. All along, he just didn't want the responsibility.
Wow, Mrs. Wilson right here is talking like she already knows for sure that Mr. Dowdy is the father. If the DNA test results finds out something else, that would be extremely embarrassing for her. But is her confidence genuine, or is she just trying to force a connection that was never there? The stakes couldn't be higher for everyone involved. Anyway, here is what happens next.
I left one of a family member in that apartment when I left. And it wasn't nobody I was dating or he could have been possibly the father, a family member. We don't do that. That's called incest.
But
Wow, that is a crazy way to treat a kid that could be yours, and the fact that it has been over 3 decades and this issue is not yet solved is just insanity. What kind of man walks away without even trying to know the truth? The psychological scars this has left on their daughter are impossible to measure, but that isn't the worst thing about this crazy case.
His last name, so I thought was his last name. But come to find out, he was using another last name. That's why nobody could find him. That's why I couldn't find him, and at the time I was getting...
So you think he was avoiding you?
He gave her the wrong last name so that he couldn't be found? Yeah, Mr. Dowdy is a villain, even if he ends up not being the father. That is a crazy thing to do to anyone. The deliberate deception speaks volumes about his character, regardless of the DNA outcome. And yes, it gets even worse. Here is what the daughter in question thinks.
I was a child. I had to go to school and see other kids with their daddy, and they used to ask me, well, where's your daddy? I used to just lie and make up stuff. I would say that he's dead or he lives in another state somewhere.
That sounds horrible. Why would anyone treat their daughter this way? This is so irresponsible on both sides. The fact that she is over 30 and still cannot say for sure who her father is just horrible. The emotional void this has created in her life is something no DNA test can fix. And yes, it gets worse.
I was adopted as well, and they used their name on my, on my Social Security. But come to find out, my biological mother's name was also on my birth certificate, because it took a little while for me to get my birth certificate.
She is correct, but only if Mr. Dowdy is her father. But Mr. Dowdy still has a lot of doubt here. His reluctance to accept any responsibility, even after all these years, raises serious questions. What is he so afraid of? Is it really about the truth, or is it about protecting himself from facing the consequences of his actions? In the end, here is how Mrs. Wilson eventually found Mr. Dowdy.
I found him on Facebook. I put in Leon Nelson, and his picture popped up.
Really?
Like I said, I never knew about Dowdy, but it popped up Leon Dowdy. I said, well, this is his face. I said, where did Dowdy come from? Who is that?
This is a crazy case. Mr. Dowdy still insists he isn't the father, and Mrs. Wilson thinks he is crazy for thinking that. Both mother and child are certain he belongs in their life. But after decades of running, avoiding, and denying, the moment of truth has finally arrived. The DNA test might just have another opinion about that.
Has been determined by this court. Mr. Dowdy, you are not the father.
I'm so sorry, Shakina.
I don't see how not. I haven't been with nobody else but him.
Ma, you had to be with somebody
But
else.
I wasn't.
You had to.
But I wasn't.
She doesn't have my eyebrows. All my other kids, all the
eyebrows?
7 kids have my arch eyebrows.
I understand, Ryan.
Raylan eyebrows are straight.
Are we talking about eyebrows?
We talking about eyebrows. We talking about real eyebrows.
Okay.
7 kids? Yeah, it gets worse. Ms. Wallace has summoned her ex-husband and his new wife to court to prove that he fathered her 2-year-old kid. She says he is too busy with his new family and has neglected his child. But why now? After all this time, what made her decide to drag this into court? Is it really about child support, or is there something more personal at play here? The emotional toll on this innocent child, caught between warring parents, is heartbreaking. Mr. Wallace, the ex-husband, denies all of this completely. Here is how it begins.
With
it's a problem that me and Ryan has been honest with each other in the past. I know exactly how many kids Ryan has. I'm not sure if she knows. I'm not sure why when he ran off with her that all of a sudden it was a problem. He was there when I told him I was pregnant.
Okay, this seems kind of straightforward. Ms. Wallace says the only reason Mr. Wallace isn't standing up to his responsibilities is because of his new wife. But is that the whole story? Could there be more to his reluctance than just his current marriage? The way he's completely denying any connection to his own flesh and blood raises serious questions about what really happened between them. Now, what does Mr. Wallace think?
After so many years, we separated. She was doing her thing and I was doing my thing, and it was just a terrible moment.
So why, if that's the case, why treat our daughters different?
Oh, wait, it is that easy? Despite being separated, Ms. Wallace just called Mr. Wallace up and had her way with him because that is what she wanted. But why would he agree to this if he was already building a new life? Was this a moment of weakness? Or does his version of events not quite add up? That sounds freaky, but that is what you get on paternity court. What happens next?
Taking her on this trip to Orion's out, Mr. Wallace.
I can't recall, Your Honor.
You can't recall.
It was only one time, Ray.
You remember that one time,
After 3 or 4
though.
years.
Okay, he remembers it though.
That means they did it without protection. Why would you sleep with someone without protection when you know that you are separated from them? This reckless decision has now put an innocent child's identity in question. Were they both playing with fire? Or was one of them secretly hoping for this outcome? It looks like the Wallaces just wanted an even more complicated relationship. So when did Mr. Wallace start denying?
I signed the birth certificate, told me that it might be another guy.
Oh, let's get to that part. Ms. Wallace, did you or did you not have sex with somebody else while your husband had kind of moved on?
Yes.
You did? Yeah. Did you have unprotected sex with someone?
Yes.
Okay, first of all, that doesn't look like a light-skinned kid. Second of all, a father saying his kid looks like him is certainly not an invitation to invalidate his fatherhood. But why is Mr. Wallace so quick to dismiss this child based on appearance alone? His harsh judgment speaks volumes about his character, regardless of the DNA results. No wonder Mr. Wallace thinks this child does not belong to him at all. Now, what goes down next?
In the window of time you just outlined. So that adds up with her testimony that you are the biological father. Were you intimate, Ms. Wallace, with any other person slightly before or after this estimated window?
I don't think it was that window, but I was with somebody about 5 days before him.
Yeah, that is reason enough, and a 5 days difference is actually enough for Mr. Wallace to think maybe there is a chance that the kid doesn't belong to him. But is he grasping at straws here? The way he's searching for any excuse to deny this child is becoming harder and harder to watch. But you see, Mr. Wallace has another defense, the eyebrows.
Arch of eyebrow. Of all my other kids, my son have them, my daughter have them, Raylan doesn't have my strong arch eyebrows.
Good. That's not going to change the DNA results. You know, I don't know why you feel like she's not yours because of the eyebrows.
Now, it is time for Mr. Wallace's wife to talk. She has been silent through this entire proceeding, but it is time to learn what she has to say about this crazy turn of events. Has she been pulling the strings behind the scenes, or is she just another victim in this messy situation? What does she think here?
I think is that she called, when you go send Raylan some diapers, when you go send her some Pampers, when you go send...
I shouldn't have to call.
And that's about it. And I asked her what's going on.
Okay, I want to ask you this.
Oh, that makes sense now. She believes that Ms. Wallace just wants to destroy her marriage, and that is that about that. But is this really about jealousy, or is she refusing to see the possibility that her husband might have another child? The layers of denial in this case are staggering. That means Ms. Wallace was correct from the very beginning, and now it just gets really sad. Here is what Ms. Wallace thinks.
He's the one that runs off and goes to different states and creates real babies and fake families. He's the one that does that. My baby 2 years old, he didn't even call my baby on her birthday. Yeah, I don't celebrate. So what? Call her.
I respected you.
This is just such a sad case, and we can only hope that all sides get their needed closure today, because that is what is really necessary here. The child at the center of this storm deserves to know the truth, no matter how painful it might be for the adults involved. Anyway, Ms. Wallace has said her piece. It is time for the DNA test to reveal the truth.
It's been determined by this court. Mr. Wallace, you are not the father. You all right?
It's okay.
Mr. Wallace? Mr. Wallace, what are you feeling? You really thought you were?
Yes.
I thought he was too.
Mrs. Cohen, you have opened your case to prove to your husband that he is the father of your 1-year-old son, Kyrie. You say your marriage is on the verge of divorce because Mr. Cohen chooses to deny your young son. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Cohen certainly wasn't paying attention when they said, "Don't kick a man while he's down," otherwise she would not have cheated on her diabetic husband, Mr. Cohen. She's now angry that Mr. Cohen is denying paternity for her 1-year-old son, and her marriage is on the verge of divorce. Mr. Cohen, hurtful and betrayed, has everything riding on today's DNA result. Will their marriage end in divorce, or will there be a second chance for them?
Right now, I'm trying to save my marriage because we are on the verge of divorce. I want to prove to him that he is the father of our 1-year-old son. He's my high school sweetheart. We met in the 10th grade. We started dating. We've been together for 7 years, married for 3, and I just really want to prove to him and his family members that he is the father of our 1-year-old son.
Mr. Cohen admits that he's really hurt that it would come to this for him to get answers. With tears in his eyes, he says that it would really hurt him if it turns out that he's not the biological father of the child. He admits that he's part of the reason why the marriage started going bad. He was not ready to be a father to their oldest child. He says he was young and he made some bad choices. Well, the first step to redemption is acceptance.
I'm just really hurt right now that we had to come this far to get these answers. And I have had lots of doubt about Kyrie, and it will really hurt if that does come back and he's not my child today.
The judge appreciated his honesty, as did everyone that was present in the courtroom. They all applauded him. Bravo! Mr. Cohen says he broke up with his wife in April, but they were still living under the same roof. Fast forward to May, they started having sex together again. One fateful day, he decided to go through his wife's phone. The phone was locked. He tried unlocking the phone with all his wife's 10 fingers while she was sleeping. What the hell?
Mr. Cohen, how did you find out your wife was cheating?
In April, me and Jasmine, we broke up. We said we was gonna be done with each other for good. We were still living under the same roof in the same house. Going into May, we began to have sex again, all that good stuff.
Mr. Cohen says, as he was going through the phone, he decided to check the messages, call logs, and everything. He didn't see anything to suggest that his wife was cheating. He felt happy. As he was about to close the phone, he decided to check the notes. He saw his name and that of 2 other men. They were names of men Ms. Cohen has been intimate with. He knew one of the names, but the third one was a mystery. Wowzers.
Wow, all right.
Yes, so as I was going through the phone, I decided messages, I was checking phone logs, photos, everything. So I was like, oh, my wife's not cheating no more, we're about to be happy.
Mr. Cohen channeled his inner Inspector Gadget and did more digging. He went to Instagram to find more about the third mystery guy. He found the guy and messaged him that he was having a baby. The guy was not surprised at all. Interesting. He confessed that he only slept with her one time and he was not the father of the child before blocking the account. Ms. Cohen says she was already pregnant when she slept with the guy. What?
It wasn't even actually night, it was daytime.
Oh, all right. Go ahead, Inspector Gadget. So then you go to Instagram and what happened?
I went to Instagram, I typed in the guy's name, his name popped up first. I clicked on that picture and it was the guy. I went in his DMs.
How do you know it was the guy?
I went into his DMs.
Ms. Cohen says it happened when they were on a break. Mr. Cohen had gone to live with one of his family members. She had to do community service, and she met the guy during community service. The guy started whispering beautiful things into her ear. She says when they had their lunch break, they came back to the house and had sex. Good heavens! She says she was already pregnant. Mr. Cohen says that they were not intimate before that.
We were on a break. He went to go stay with one of his family members, and I had to do community service, and I met him at community service. And he was just telling me that I'm beautiful and all this other stuff.
That right there, I don't know. Was he doing that voluntarily or was he ordered to community service? There's a difference.
He was ordered.
Ms. Cohen says to be fair, her husband was also cheating. She was just getting back at him. An eye for an eye. The sex with the community guy was unprotected? The entire courtroom gasped. Mr. Cohen says when he found out that his wife was pregnant, he wasn't happy at all. Because they were not in a very good place, neither was he ready to be a father again. So he was still hopping in and out doing his own thing with other people.
My husband was cheating too, so to be fair, I was getting him back. That's all that was. He was cheating, and my husband's made me feel so low. Like, he's chosen females over me plenty of times. So it was my time to get back at him, so I was just doing what I wanted to do.
Mr. Cohen says he does not remember having sex with his wife in April during the breakup. Ms. Cohen objected, saying that they were having sex every day. Mr. Cohen says he was barely over at the house, so it was impossible. Who is now the liar? Time will tell. The judge tells her that if you count back 9 months from when she gave birth, the window of conception will be April. During the same period, the husband claimed they were not intimate.
April, we were not having sex. I don't remember us having sex at all.
Boy, we was having sex every day.
I do not remember us having sex at all.
We was having sex every day, like literally, like 2 times a day. Even when he got off work, even when he would get off work, like 6 o'clock in the morning.
An expert was called in to explain if it was possible for someone with type 2 diabetes to father a child. The expert says, although it's a possibility, it's very unlikely as people with diabetes still father kids. Mr. Cohen says despite hearing what the expert had to say, he still had doubts because his wife was with another man. Well, that's valid, very valid. Only the DNA results can save or destroy this marriage.
Mr. Cohen, you are the father.
Oh God, I'm so happy. Everybody can follow me. Be quiet.
You say the only reason he is denying your 4-month-old son, Jade, is because he's an insecure man. If the defendant doesn't change his ways after you prove he is the father, then the relationship is over. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
They say lightning never strikes the same place twice, surely not when it comes to Ms. Sands, who allegedly cheated on Mr. Hundley with the same man, multiple times. Scandalous. Their relationship is strained by constant fighting and paternity doubts. Ms. Sands has given an ultimatum to Mr. Hundley to leave the relationship if he doesn't step up after finding out the child is his. Will the odds be in her favor?
So this is really impacting your relationship?
It is.
What is it like in your home right now?
We fight probably like 3-4 times every week out of the week.
Constant fighting?
Constantly.
So all because of this paternity secret?
Yes.
Ms. Sands says it all started with a text message. She says she lied to Mr. Hundley about the context of a message he saw on her phone. The message contained some words signaling that she was single while she was in a committed relationship with Mr. Hundley. This was the genesis of Mr. Hundley's insecurity.
Well, it all started with a text message, Your Honor. I lied to him about a message that he had seen on my phone. He took a picture of the message in my phone and he came downstairs and asked me about it, and I lied to him. I said, no, I was not talking to so-and-so.
To be clear, before then you were in a committed relationship?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Hundley says after they ironed out their issues, they decided to get new phones. Lo and behold, Ms. Sands got another text message from the same number. Ms. Sand objected that it was not the same number. Mr. Hundley says when he confronted Ms. Sands about how the guy got her new phone number, she told him that she doesn't know. Ms. Sands says it was another man she used to hang out with before she met Mr. Hundley. Oh, there's more?
It was the same number.
It wasn't even the same person.
She say it's not.
It wasn't even the same person.
It was the same number. I had the screenshot, put up the screenshot, same thing. 'Cause I'm looking at the screenshot and then her phone. It's the same number.
No, it wasn't even the same person.
So you're saying, Mr. Hundley, you all got new phones.
New phones.
But same old guy is still calling the new phone.
Number. And I asked her about it. I was like, okay.
Mr. Hundley says he has evidence of other instances where Ms. Sands cheated on him. The judge tells him to show the court. He says there was a party and they were playing beer pongs, so Ms. Sand went upstairs. He thought she went to sleep. When he went upstairs, she wasn't there. When he woke up the next morning, Ms. Sands was lying down close to him. It felt weird to him. He noticed a bruise on her upper thigh. Interesting.
I want to say, yeah, because after, there's a few situations, man. I actually got evidence if you mind me.
I would like to see it.
All right.
You can step over to your exhibit.
All right. So this is New Year's, right? And I want to say we was playing beer pong, we was enjoying ourselves, like having a good time. Like she's telling me she's going to bed.
Mr. Hundley says he knows for certain that the bruise was a sexual mark, and he wasn't the one that left it on her. He says when he asked her about the bruise, she said she bumped into a chair. He says that's not possible given the position of the bruise on her thigh. Ms. Sands says the mark was actually not where Mr. Hundley says it was. The judge asks her to show where the mark was.
I know for a fact I didn't leave this mark on it. Like, this is a sexual mark for real, and I know for a fact I'm not the one that left it on it.
So it's a mark?
It was a mark.
Is that about the size of it, an accurate size in terms of the proportion to?
Give or take a little bit.
And so you saw this mark, and you say when you all have been intimate in the past, you've left similar mark on her.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Sands walks over to where the diagram was. She says they were playing beer pong all night and she was drunk. Her memory from that night was a little bit hazy. She says when she woke up the next morning, the bruise she saw was closer to her knee. She says it was the day after that she saw the other bruise on her thigh. Ms. Sands says she didn't sleep with anyone. Mr. Hundley says her ex comes over there a lot. What? Where's there?
We were playing beer pong all night. I was drunk. I don't remember what had happened. I woke up the next morning and there was a mark on my leg, probably right about here, and it was just one spot that was hurting.
Ms. Sands says, after the whole incident, she found out she was pregnant. She says before she goes any further, she needs to clear the air that it was Mr. Hundley's idea for her to stop taking pills. She says Mr. Hundley knew she always wanted a baby, so she asked him if he was sure, and he said yes. When she showed him the pregnancy papers, he immediately said it wasn't his baby.
So, all right, so after these incidents, soon after this, you find out you're pregnant.
Yes, Your Honor.
When you find out, take me to that moment. Do you tell Mr. Hundley?
I do. I just had a feeling. Well, let me start with this. We were outside and Jada told me, I know you don't want to take the pill, and if you don't want to take it, you don't have to.
Mr. Hundley says he doubted the pregnancy because he didn't believe she was with only him during the time. He says that Ms. Sands also told him that he was not the father. Holy cow. The entire courtroom gasped. Ms. Sands says she said it out of anger because of the constant accusation of cheating by Mr. Hundley. Mr. Hundley says she flatly told him he was not the father when they got into an argument about him leaving.
Because all the things that happened prior, so I honestly didn't believe I was the only one she was with, so I definitely couldn't have been the only father in that situation.
So as soon as she told you, even though you all were in a relationship, your immediate thought was, I'm not the only one she's with, so I have doubt.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Sands says Mr. Hundley was there during the pregnancy, but he was not involved. Mr. Hundley says when he was about to sign the birth certificate, Ms. Sands asked him if he was sure without getting a DNA test first. Unbelievable. Ms. Sands says she only said that to get back at Mr. Hundley for all the constant accusations during the pregnancy. Only the DNA results can grind this ping pong to a halt.
Mr. Hundley, you are the father. You are the father.
Man, yeah, this is the best feeling now.
Ms. Shank, you claim that when your daughter Serenity turned 2, Mr. Robinson began to doubt paternity.
Yes, Your Honor.
A woman, Ms. Shank admits to cheating with a friend, leading to doubts about her daughter's paternity. The father, Mr. Robinson, who had been involved in the child's life, pulls away after learning of the uncertainty. Mr. Robinson is hoping that the results will be in his favor so that he can be close to his daughter once again. Will both parties be able to rebuild their relationship and co-parent effectively?
Up to 2 years of Serenity's life, I was there for her and Mrs. Shank until about 5 months. She was 5 months pregnant. She told me that I may not be her father because she slept with a friend.
Mr. Robinson says Ms. Shank confessed to him that she had slept with a friend of his. What in the world? So, she wasn't sure if the child was his. Ms. Shank says that it was true. She came clean to Mr. Robinson. She says she slept with somebody else around the same time she was with Mr. Robinson because they were in an off and on relationship. She used protection, but the condom broke. She started crying. Remorse or manipulation?
And then about 5 months, what happened?
She told me that she had slept with a friend of mine and didn't know if I was the father or if he was father.
So she came clean.
Yes, ma'am.
Mrs. Shank says she only slept with the other guy once. Well, you only need one time to make a baby. She says she came clean to Mr. Robinson 5 months into the pregnancy. Mr. Robinson went through her phone and saw her conversation with one of her cousins saying there was a 50-50 chance that he could not be the father. Oh, so she only confessed because she was caught in her own web of lies.
With the other guy once?
Yes, Your Honor.
Was it just one time with the other guy?
Yes, Your Honor.
So when you finally decided to tell Mr. Robinson the truth, fill me in on that, because Mr. Robinson says he was there for you. He was going to doctor's appointments. He thought he was having a child.
Ms. Shank says she came to the realization of 50-50 because it didn't add up. The judge asks her at what point did the feeling change for her to come to that realization for her to text the 50-50 message to her cousin. Ms. Shank says she replayed the whole thing in her mind and it didn't add up. Mr. Robinson says even after he heard the sad news, he was still there during the whole pregnancy.
It did add up because you wouldn't have written that text if you didn't think that.
The condom broke when I slept with the other person.
Okay, so what I'm saying is when you found out you were pregnant, you said you really felt it was Mr. Robinson's baby. At what point did that feeling change for you so that you would send that text to your cousin? You were replaying it in your mind?
You can say that, yes.
Mr. Robinson says his name was on the birth certificate. He was there for the child as a father. He says he started pulling away when he found out that Ms. Shank was planning to get the other guy tested as a possible father and not him. What? The entire courtroom gasped. Ms. Shank says she made plans to test the other man, but she could not find him. Well, would you take a look at that? Everyone in the courtroom gasped.
Certificate, my name is on it.
And then now you have this beautiful little girl, and you step up and you're her father.
Yes, ma'am. Up until the 5 after when she told me that she had slept with somebody else, that's what made me push myself away from Serenity.
Ms. Shank says when the child was born, she didn't look like Mr. Robinson, she looked like the other guy. Oh my goodness. She says she has an older child with Mr. Robinson. The older child looks like Mr. Robinson. She says that Mr. Robinson is now treating both kids differently. He shows more affection to the older son that looks like him, while being lukewarm towards her daughter, Serenity.
As Mr. Robinson was bonding with the baby, really stepping up to the plate as father, in your mind, you're looking and you're saying, my baby looks just like the other guy.
Yes, Your Honor.
And I need to have him tested. You actually have another child with Mr. Robinson.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Shank says an example was when Mr. Robinson and his mother came to get his son, her daughter was devastated because she didn't get to go with them. She was left behind. She says when Mr. Robinson calls and Serenity wants to speak with him, the son will tell her that's not your daddy. What? How did a child know what was going on? Even the judge was shocked. She scolded both parents.
It was a couple weeks ago, they came and got him and his mother came and picked up my son, and my daughter was devastated because she couldn't go. She cried for about 20-25 minutes. Even sometimes when my son talks to his father on the phone, and after he gets off, Serenity says, I want to talk to daddy, and my son says, that's not your daddy.
Ms. Donna, Ms. Shank's mom, was called to the stands as a witness. She says she's here to support her daughter. The entire courtroom clapped. She says she understands why Mr. Robinson pulled away. She says she had experienced the same thing in her own life with her son, and she does not want her granddaughter to pass through the same ordeal. She says at first she didn't see the resemblance between Mr. Robinson and Serenity, hence the test.
Totally understand why Mr. Robinson pulled away from my daughter Serenity, granddaughter Serenity. I was in a similar situation with my son, and after 5 months of bonding with this child, to find out that it was not my grandchild, it broke my heart. I don't want my granddaughter to be 21 and find out that this man is not her father.
Ms. Donna says as Serenity is growing older, she's now starting to look like Mr. Robinson. That's why she wants to put an end to all the doubts and questions once and for all. Mr. Robinson says he sees a resemblance between himself and Serenity. Ms. Donna says as much as she wants to believe it too. You simply can't go by that. The judge says she's correct. Only the DNA results can give the final verdict on this issue.
Jamario Robinson is her father. How do you feel, Mr. Robinson?
I feel great.
Good.
Feel great.
Mr. Nicholas, you have brought your wife to court today.
Yes, ma'am.
You claim you cannot be the father of 4-year-old Naomi or 1-year-old Nathaniel because your wife is a habitual cheater and she cannot be trusted.
Mr. Nicholas certainly has wool pulled over his eyes by his wife. He has been deceived not once, but 10 times by his wife. He was fed up, so he dragged her to court to prove if he was truly the father of their 2 kids, a 1-year-old and a 4-year-old. Mrs. Nicholas admits to have made some mistakes in the past, but she has repented and started going to church. Will her past mistakes catch up to her, or will she get another shot at redemption in her marriage?
Claim you have now turned your life around and you are a church-going woman who deserves another chance. State that once these DNA tests prove Mr. Nicholas is the father of all of your children, you are hoping to repair your marriage.
Mr. Nicholas says they were both high school sweethearts. He says that Mrs. Nicholas told him that she made out with somebody else. That was the first time she cheated on him. Mrs. Nicholas said it was all in the past. He says there was also another incident where his wife cheated on him on a Transformer ride. What? Mrs. Nicholas denied it, saying that it was ridiculous.
She comes up and tells me straight to my face that she made out with somebody.
I'm telling you the truth.
That was the very first time she cheated on me.
That was the first time?
Yeah, that's when we're in high school.
That was the past. We were in high school that time.
But what about all the stories that other people are telling me? Come on now.
All right.
Mr. Nicholas says his 7-year-old daughter came down from the ride and told him that Mummy was jumping up and down on another man's lap. Oh my goodness. An old lady told him his wife's name. Mrs. Nicholas denies it. She says there are many people named Angela. The judge was forced to ask Mr. Nicholas who the people that were constantly telling him about his wife were. He couldn't possibly be keeping tabs on his wife.
Mommy's jumping around on some
dude's lap. That's you know, after the old lady told me. The lady told me your name.
No, my name. There's a bunch of girls named Angela. Come on now.
I'm trying to.
Come on, there's a lot of people named Angela.
Mr. Nicholas says at his former place of work, a pizza joint, that his wife had an affair with the manager. Holy smoke! The whole courtroom gasped. Mrs. Nicholas admits that she had an affair with the manager. She says the man was there for her, comforted her, and bought her diapers for the baby. Was she that cheap? Mr. Nicholas says he found out about the affair when his wife told him that she left her panties there. Unbelievable.
Have an affair. On top of that, every time I try to talk to you, you're just not there for me.
Yeah, just because he's been buying you diapers, all that.
Diapers? Yeah, every time I ask you, you just take off. You spend your money on something else. Come on now.
So she asks you for money for the diapers for the baby.
Yes, ma'am.
Mrs. Nicholas says she never told her husband anything like that. Which one of them is lying? Mrs. Nicholas says that her husband was also cheating, that he has another woman he sees. Interesting. Mr. Nicholas says he only goes to see the other woman to talk about his problems. Yeah, right. The judge tells him that that is emotional cheating. Mrs. Nicholas says she knows she messed up, but it's all in the past. Let bygones be bygones.
No, I didn't take no snap.
No, I just put that in now. No, don't worry about that.
Miss Nicholas, did you tell him that? No, I did not.
How did you figure this out?
First of all, her cell phone.
No, I don't even talk to anybody. I've been with my kids 24/7. Where you been?
Mr. Nicholas says that was also a time when his wife cheated on him with a man that looked like him. It keeps getting worse like a bad movie. Mrs. Nicholas says that the accusation was true. She did in fact sleep with a man that looked like her husband. The judge asks her why she did it. She said that he looked like her husband. She laughed without showing any remorse. Mr. Nicholas furiously turned away. At this point, his doubts are valid.
The dude you slept with that looked that on just like me?
Oh, I meant that one.
Oh, it just keeps getting not better. So, Mrs. Nicholas, did you sleep with one that looks just like your husband?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm being honest with you.
Yeah.
I told you I wrote a letter when you were out of business. Come on now.
Please tell the court why.
The judge tells Mrs. Nicholas why her husband's doubt was valid, even if the kids looked like him. So was the other man she cheated with. Mr. Nicholas says the kids don't look like him. The judge asks Mrs. Nicholas what happened in her marriage that made her start cheating on her husband. Exactly. What went wrong? Mrs. Nicholas says it was because of the way her husband treated her at home. He called her all sorts of names.
Do you understand why he potentially maybe could have some doubt? Do you understand?
Yeah, because I cheated on him, but all the time when I was
the kids don't look like me though.
They look like me, that's why. Come on now.
No, there's gotta be a part of it where the kids gotta look like me.
The judge asks Mr. Nicholas that if he knew that Mrs. Nicholas had a reputation back then in high school, why did he marry her? The whole courtroom clapped. Mr. Nicholas says he was a nerd, the fat chubby kid. No wonder. The judge finally asked Mrs. Nicholas how many affairs she has had. She says it was less than 10 different guys. She says she didn't sleep with most of them, only kissing. It was hard to believe her at this point.
Married her.
Yeah, because you know why? It's not, I married her because, yeah, I was a nerd. I'll tell you that. I was fat, little chubby little kid. You know what I mean? I was probably the rebound.
You're not the rebound.
Miss Nicholas, I gotta ask you, how many affairs have you had?
How many affairs when I was with him?
When was the last one? Yes.
The last time was his business trip. 10 different guys.
Mrs. Nicholas says she loves her husband, but she's tired of the constant fighting and name-calling. She says her husband is very controlling. The judge asks both of them to quit their constant arguing, that their kids are the most important thing in their life right now. They were both silent. Mrs. Nicholas says she wants her husband to stop calling her names for once. Only the DNA results can settle this once and for all.
Mr. Nicholas, that you are his father.
Exactly! I told you from the beginning. I told you.
How do you feel, Mr. Nicholas?
Relieved.
You say your wife, Ms. Lee, conceived a child after cheating numerous times during your marriage.
Yes, Your Honor.
You claim your family disowned you because of her infidelity, and now your marriage is on the brink of divorce.
Yes, Your Honor.
It's funny how you can be in the middle of something and a completely random memory will strike. For Mr. Lee, it was not a pleasant memory. He's now dragged his wife, Mrs. Lee, to court. He claims he's not the father of her 11-month-old baby because of the multiple affairs she has had. Mrs. Lee admits to the cheating, but she's confident that her husband is the father of her child. Will their marriage fall apart, or will their bond grow stronger?
And we started making out the whole night. We heavily the whole night. We did not have sex though. We just made out. The next morning, we exchanged numbers that night. We actually had to exchange our names as well. We made out the whole night, didn't even remember each other's names.
A week after moving in with him, Mr. Lee says Mrs. Lee started cheating on him with a guy she claims looked like Bon Jovi. What? A week? The entire courtroom gasped. Mrs. Lee says she has a celebrity obsession. Yeah, right. Mr. Lee says the guy used to sleep on their cot and play the guitar. Now that's funny. Mrs. Lee says that Mr. Lee was jealous of the guy. What a bold thing to say to your husband in public.
She went ahead and moved in with me. I mean, she stayed there with me for a few days, and then like the following week, she started cheating on me with a guy she claimed that looked like Bon Jovi. She has...
The following week?
Yeah.
Mrs. Lee was trying to validate her celebrity obsession. She says the guy really looked like Bon Jovi, and she figured that if she cheated on Mr. Lee, he would break up their engagement. But she did it anyway. Mr. Lee tells her that there are easier ways to end a relationship. Precisely. Everyone in the courtroom clapped. She says the reason she wanted to break up was because Mr. Lee had a close family life, and she hates to be the one to initiate a breakup. Unbelievable.
I really do have a big celebrity obsession.
More like Pakistan.
Lee, you do
I
understand.
figured if I cheated on him, he would break up with me. I had been staying at his house, and the family was it was a really close environment, and I didn't come from that.
There was easier ways to break up
I didn't come from a really...
You could have just said, okay, yeah,
I want to understand.
But he didn't break up with me.
Mr. Lee says his cousin's wife told him that they caught Mrs. Lee cheating with the same guy after he had forgiven her for the first affair. Mrs. Lee denied the allegations. She says she was just hanging out with the guy and his sister. Okay? The judge tells her that she's supposed to know that that's not right. Mrs. Lee says she has only cheated on Mr. Lee with 2 men. 2 men?
Naked in his trailer with him.
Oh, but I wasn't cheating that day. I was just hanging out with him and his sister. I do admit to cheating twice with this
cheating,
guy, but it was not that time. No, this was after I'd already cheated. I wasn't cheating anymore.
Oh, so then that was just post.
Yes.
Mr. Lee says his family disowned him after he refused to leave Mrs. Lee when she cheated on him the first time. He chose her over his family, burned some bridges with his friends. What a huge sacrifice. Mr. Lee says when he found out that Mrs. Lee was pregnant, he had no reason to doubt because she was his wife.
I got a little pissed off because, I mean, at the time, you know, my family disowned me. I had no friends.
Why did
She
your
was a
family
coworker.
disown you?
Because she cheated on me and I chose her over them, and they didn't like that, so it burned a
So
lot of
she
bridges.
cheated on you. They told you we don't want you to be with her anymore.
Yes.
Mrs. Lee says that her husband was there for her during the pregnancy, but he never really bonded with the child. He was physically present, but emotionally absent. Mr. Lee says he worked late nights. Mr. Lee revealed that the doubts crept in when Mrs. Lee told him that she cheated on him a week after telling him that she was pregnant. Oh my goodness. The entire courtroom gasped.
He was
So, yeah, I was
emotionally
kinda
absent.
sleeping.
Yes.
And you were emotionally absent, Mr. Lee, what, because you didn't believe the child was yours?
Well, after about a week later, after we find out she's pregnant, she told me she cheated on me again, and that's where this whole allegation came on. It's like, oh, by the way, I slept with another guy.
So,
Oh, man.
Mr. Lee says when they went to check the pregnancy, his wife told him that he may not be responsible for the pregnancy. Wow, she slept with another guy once. Mrs. Lee says she never told him that. Mr. Lee says there's also a possibility he could be the father. That's why he stuck around during the pregnancy and everything. A better man than most. Many men would have left.
Well, she found out she was pregnant. We went to verify it.
she told you you may not be the father?
Yeah, she told me I may not be the father because she slept with another guy once.
And you say you didn't tell him that?
No.
Well, now, that's not a conversation you forget. So, Mr. Lee, did she sit you down, showed you on the phone? She told you
Just
where?
Told me after we left the OBGYN.
Mr. Lee says that despite everything, he still loves his wife. True love right there. He says nobody is perfect and that people make mistakes. He says he's had enough of it though. Who would have thought? Mrs. Lee says the love is still there, but if the baby is not her husband's, there's no way they can be together. It was a mutual decision. Look at that. Something they finally have one voice on.
And you stay with her.
Yes, Your Honor. Despite her courts and despite everything, I do love her. I mean, I realize people have problems. People do things that they're not proud of. I mean, who among us has not?
How you stand here after saying you love her and don't leave her, now you're saying you're gonna divorce her.
Yeah.
Mr. Lee says that everything in the relationship was resting on today's DNA results. Mr. Lee says he has given up everything for his wife, family, friends, everything. That's why he couldn't abandon her. Make it or break it. The tears started flowing down his cheeks. He says he signed the birth certificate. His mother-in-law commended him for sticking with his daughter. Only the DNA results can give Mr. Lee the solace he truly deserves.
Our Carolyn's father.
Yes, I told you. I told you. I tried to tell him I've been faithful to him. I made some mistakes. I did, but I've been doing a lot better. I just want us to be a family and just start over.
Mrs. Gamboa, you say you're fed up with your husband because he's repeatedly accused you of cheating, even with the babysitter.
Yes, Your Honor.
A couple, Mr. and Mrs. Gamboa, struggles with trust issues surrounding their child's paternity, leading to emotional turmoil and neglect of their one-year-old son. The husband's accusations stem from doubts fueled by past experiences and the presence of a male babysitter. The husband's suspicion is intensified by the child's resemblance to the babysitter. Will the wife be vindicated, or will the husband's doubts ring true?
Mr. Gamboa, you saw the babysitter on your bed?
I was at work, Your Honor, and I got a phone call because we're all living in the same house. My stepfather had called me saying that the babysitter was asleep in my room on the floor with the door shut with my wife in there.
Mr. Gamboa says he worked a graveyard shift all night, and they had a 4-bedroom apartment, so the babysitter could have slept in the other rooms, but he didn't. Now that's suspicious. He instead saw the babysitter sleeping on their bed. What? Their matrimonial bed? Mrs. Gamboa says that they've been together for so long that Mr. Gamboa should know that she would never cheat on him.
Mr. Gamboa knew he was in the room, and he only slept on the floor. When he came home, I was not in the room when he came home. I was in the living room watching TV, and he came home, and our babysitter was sitting on the bed.
Mrs. Gamboa says the male babysitter was Mr. Gamboa's decision in the first place. Now we are getting somewhere. She says the babysitter was a mutual friend of theirs whom Mr. Gamboa knew more than her. He was homeless at the time Mr. Gamboa offered him the job. She says she regrets the decision every day.
However, Ms. Gamboa, I need you to elaborate a bit for the court. Why make that choice? Why is a male babysitter really in your room at all?
Mr. Gamboa says their son Dominic looks exactly like the babysitter. He says the babysitter walks like him, and they have almost the same head structure. Coincidence or not? Mrs. Gamboa says the son looks like Mr. Gamboa, with the same dimples and also identical birthmarks like his brother. Mr. Gamboa says he has been having infertility issues, that there's a high possibility he's not the father. Oh.
Your Honor, Dominic looks just like his father. He has the same dimple as our other son. He looks just like him, and then he walks like him.
I mean, the babysitter walks like me too. And
no, he
look
doesn't.
At the back of his
no,
head.
The babysitter walks like you?
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does.
Mrs. Gamboa says if that's the case, why didn't he deny the paternity of their first son? That if Mr. Gamboa didn't deny the paternity of their first child, he shouldn't deny that of Dominic. The entire courtroom clapped. Mr. Gamboa says the time they had their first child, they were all living together with Mrs. Gamboa's ex under one roof. Everyone gasped. He said that's why he's doubtful about the babysitter now. It might not be a coincidence after all.
Yes,
receiving a child with a woman because
why
of
did
having...
he did not deny our first son and only Dominic? If that was the case, he shouldn't deny our only Dominic and not our first son.
Mr. Gamboa says the doubts concerning the paternity of Dominic have caused him not to bond with the child. What a sad turnout. Mrs. Gamboa interjected saying that Mr. Gamboa doesn't play with the child, he doesn't change his diaper. Mrs. Gamboa presented childhood pictures of Mr. Gamboa alongside that of Dominic, showing the striking resemblance between both of them.
How has this doubt affected your connection with Dominic, Mr. Gamboa?
I mean,
have you bonded with the child?
No, I haven't.
Mrs. Gamboa says she believed the babysitter was trying to destroy their marriage because after they kicked him out, he tried persuading Mr. Gamboa to leave her. Wow. The babysitter was also telling her to leave her husband. He was playing both sides. Mrs. Gamboa says her husband was there when she gave birth to Dominic. He left saying he was going to get clothes. He didn't return till 2 days later. What?
I strongly believe that our babysitter was trying to mess up our marriage because at the end of this whole situation, our babysitter, when we kicked him out, he had no place to go. He went to Mr. Gamboa, oh, you should leave her and let's get a house together.
Mr. Gamboa says he had business he had to take care of. He says when he left the hospital, he started having doubts. Mrs. Gamboa says her husband wasn't at work, that he never wanted anything to do with the baby. He says that his mother and Mrs. Gamboa are aware that he has to work graveyard shifts to be able to put a roof over his family's head. Mr. Gamboa says he takes care of 6 of Mrs. Gamboa's kids. Wow, 6 kids.
We're gonna have us a problem.
Your Honor, I couldn't get
Now you don't come back for 2 days and you say you sent someone to pick her up because you had to work, but you worked graveyard, so where were you all day?
Mr. Gamboa says the doubt was so strong that he refused to take pictures with the newborn baby. He says everything he witnessed was too much for him, especially with his stepfather calling him that there's another man in his room with his wife. Mrs. Gamboa says that Mr. Gamboa told the babysitter that it was okay to sleep in his room. Mr. Gamboa says he never did. Even the judge supported him. Only the DNA results can settle this.
That Mr. Gamboa, you are his father.
Thank you. Thank you. Your baby, bond with him.